done. So save that. And now I have to, don't show audio tracks, I go save. Now this thing has to get linked right here. Click. And I've got to put a transition in. Edit. Please, 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 please. Okay, good. Transitions. Favorites. There's a dip to black for the video transition. And I do the roll transition for the viewer frustration dampener. And this transition starts at the exact same time the dip to black does. So, bam. So they're perfectly even. And I think that covers it. This is going to take a while to mine up the rest of these 3,000 resources or so. So I'll just skip past that with some video editing.
You rang?
Almost done, mister.
Okay. Viewer frustration dampener successfully installed in this video. Now we've got to, knowing that, I'm actually going to boost the volume of my voice up to 4.95, an additional 4.95 decibels, almost an additional 5 decibels, and I'm going to pull the volume down of the game to what I use as a standard for my StarCraft Let's Plays. I found negative 3.19 decibels to be a decent volume for everything as a base, but I do a lot of editing for the audio for this. StarCraft is probably the most intense, well, the most involved as far as editing my audio, but I will bring that down to 3.19, and now we'll see the balance is much better. Hey guys, it's X, and welcome back aboard the canteen of the Hyperion, where the ship's crew comes for a little R&R to get their minds off the things that are going on around them, all the terrible, terrible things that are going on around them, that they work day and night and devote their lives toward, so that they can stop the Zerg, bring Manx down, and overall make the universe a better place. In any event, we do see that the laboratory is now available to us, but before I do that, I'm going to click on the little Mercenaries console, because as we can see, it's notifying us that there's something new for us here, so let's click that.
Lots of folks ready to fight. For the right price.
There's a new mercenary contract for us, Hammer Securities. These are Marauders, which we saw on the last time that we played. By the way, as a recap, last time we did get some of these Marauders from Swan to help us out and capture another artifact. We also discovered in the previous mission that Kerrigan is going after these artifacts. Sarah Kerrigan, the leader of the Zerg. We don't know why, but now apparently there's some pressure to race against her in collecting them. Anyway, here's the Hammer Securities. Okay, I'm going to stop right there, and I hope that's not too loud or too quiet for you guys. I hope everything's working for you guys. R&R, rest and relaxation, yes. The room is in followers only mode. It's pretty cool. I trust you, Odigan. Hey, Sarek's here too. Let's see. What's I gonna? Oh yeah, I'm gonna stop right there. And what I'm actually gonna do, because notice this. And capture another artifact. We also discovered in the previous mission. Okay, I'm recapping here, but as I'm talking in the video, I'm recapping the previous episode, and all you're seeing is the mercenary screen. You're not seeing. I don't know how many of you guys are writers, how many of you guys write, but whenever you go to a blog entry and you try and read a blog entry, you'll notice that they'll throw pictures in and stuff like that, because reading a long wall of text, a reader is going to lose their attention pretty quickly. Like, you're going to lose the reader's attention pretty quickly that way. Same thing with these recaps. That's how come I try and add things for you to look at while I'm recapping. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some footage from the previous episode. So let's go ahead and add those in. I don't know which one I'm going to use, though. But yeah, I'm going to take some footage from the previous episode and create a little area here that you can watch as I recap. Because I really think it helps people keep their attention, and I really think it helps sink in what's happening there. So let's go ahead and do that. Actually, I can probably open up the previous episode right here. Is it Liberty 005? Yes, here's my previous project. And I'm going to scroll up here so we get a second. See, we have audio 2 and video 2. I'm going to scroll up here, and I'm going to pull in. Let's see, I want to get to nearly the end. No, that's right. I'm talking about Marauders, so I want to get a good scene where we've got a lot of Marauders in. How come there's so few videos there? I think this might be a good one. Let's see what we got. Now, this audio is going to sound really... Actually, I can cut out this audio here. Delete audio for that clip because I don't need the audio. Oh, perfect! This is the perfect spot. I know that sounds weird. You're going to be hearing a lot of that. Sorry, but that's how I edit. Yes, I actually want to focus in on this. And also notice what I'm doing while I'm playing. That camera bit that you see as it scrolls down, that's me doing that. That's me playing the role of an observer here. I try and focus in on the things that happen during the mission as I'm playing to help viewers fully understand what's going on. So anyway, this is a great little clip right here. Perfect, perfect. So I'm talking about Marauders, so I'm going to actually cut this clip here. Clear. And I want to get to the point where they actually drop down.
Is going after these artifacts. Sarah Kerrigan, the leader of the circuit. We don't know why, but now apparently there's some pressure to race against her in collecting them. Anyway, here's the camera securities.
Okay, so this whole little area is good. I'm going to cut this here. And I'm going to scroll back to the point where I'm actually talking about, where I start talking about Marauders.
For the right price.
There's a new mercenary contract for us, Hammer Securities. These are Marauders, which we saw on the last time that we played. By the way, as a recap, last time we did get some of these Marauders.
Okay, that's where I'm talking. I'm gonna get to the point where I say as a recap.
Last time we did get on the last time that we played. By the way, as a recap.
Here we go. There we go. And I'm going to drag this little clip to this point. And if I click on the clip inside the preview window, I can shrink it down by holding Shift and clicking on the outside. And I want to try and make it fill up this little whole area of the little mercenaries window, just because it seems like a natural fit there. I'm going to bring this over here. Alright, so now we've got that thing right there. I want to see if it actually lines up pretty well.
There's a new mercenary contract for us, Hammer Securities. These are Marauders, which we saw on the last time that we played. By the way, as a recap, last time we did get some of these Marauders from Swan to help us out and capture another artifact. We also discovered in the previous mission that...
Okay, that's good. Well, actually, I'd like to get these Marauders fighting, so I want to actually get a couple of clips from this. I want to get them as they're being dropped off, so I have to cut this clip a little bit. So I'll start the clip about right there. Drag this here. There we go.
Last time that we played. By the way, as a recap, last time we did get some of these Marauders.
Okay, now I'm actually going to cut that clip right there. And I want to skip over, because right now, my next line that I say during the Let's Play, during the commentary, is I mention the artifact. So now I want to find a clip from the previous episode where we're actually fighting those giant stone zealots. And it's going to be near the end, so we're going to grab one of these later clips. So yeah, I'm going to grab the clip where we're fighting those stone zealots, and we see the Marauders actually firing on them. And it also accomplishes the same goal of showing off collecting the artifact at the same time. So let's drag this here, and let's also delete the audio from this clip. There we go. Let's go find those stone zealots. There they are.
Unexplained noises, strange visions, voices in the dark. Provinces close to the ship, nearest your noticing up. Right. Unexplained.
I guess I'll just get them taking out this last stone zealot. So this would be a good spot right here. So let's cut this clip down to about right there. And I'm going to drag it over and just connect it to the previous one. And I will be adding transitions and all kinds of cool stuff here in a second, but let's see if that actually fits.
These are Marauders, which we saw on the last time that we played. By the way, as a recap, last time we did get some of these Marauders from Swan to help us out.
I'm actually going to extend this clip a little bit so that actually fits well.
Last time, we did get some of these marauders from Swan to help us out and capture another artifact. We also discovered in the previous mission that Kerrigan is going...
Okay, so whenever I mention artifact, I actually want to stop at the point where those little dividers pull down, and actually I focus on the artifact there. So let's change that up a little bit. So first what I need to do, so the Stone Zealot dies. We see him die right here. And then those little partitions drop down. Okay, see right there where in the game I clicked on the artifact? I want to make that point the point where I actually say the word artifact as I'm playing. So there's the click, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the video, this video right here, to show that point. And I'm going to clear out everything before it. And now I'm going to drag my marker, this little red line right here, to show where I say the word artifact.
Artifact.
Oh, perfect! I lined it up. I want to make sure it's in that sentence, though, because I said the word artifact plenty of times.
Capture another artifact.
It's right there. That's the exact point. So now I'm going to drag this right here, because remember, the beginning of this clip is now the point where I actually click on the artifact. I'm going to drag this here. There we go. Now, what I'm going to do beyond that is I'm going to extend this clip. I don't know if that will actually work the way I want it to. Let's find out. Let's save real quick, and I'll extend this out backwards. No, I don't think that'll actually work. I think that's just going to... Okay, at this point, at this frame, 49:02 should be... Is that 49 minutes? That can't be 49 minutes. 49 seconds. Okay, yeah, that's 49 seconds. At this particular frame, so 49 minutes 02 should still be this scene. So let's see if that works. It is. Okay, good. So now, when I say the word artifact, it should also click on the artifact. So let's go. Let's see the whole scene that we've got so far.
Time that we played. By the way, as a recap, last time we did get some of these marauders from Swan to help us out and capture another artifact. We also discovered in the previous mission that Kerrigan is going after
Oh, and it naturally transitions into the Kerrigan thing. That's cool.
these artifacts. So
No, it does not. It transitions into Swan talking. So what I want to do, whenever I mention Kerrigan, there's another part coming up just ahead in this clip where Kerrigan starts talking. And I want to show Kerrigan. So that's what I'm going to do.
Also discovered in the previous mission.
Oh, okay. As this fades out... Yes, as that fades out, I'm actually... No. I want to show Kerrigan as I show whatever. Okay. Now what I'm doing here is I'm trying to make sure I don't show the natural fade out of the game. I don't want to show that because that's a transition that I don't want added in here because I'm going to be adding my own transitions. So I just found the exact frame where you see the UI not disappearing, because in the very next frame you can see the UI like start dropping down and stuff. Like watch. See? So I'm actually going to cut right here. There we go. Pull this aside.
We also discovered in the previous mission.
Okay, good. Now I want to find a good scene with Kerrigan in it. There she is. Okay, there we go. I'm going to cut this part, because this is where Kerrigan is introduced in this scene. I'm going to clear out everything before it, and drag this back to where we were working. There we go. I'm just going to connect this, and see how well that looks. How good that looks.
We also discovered in the previous mission that Kerrigan is going after these artifacts. Sarah Kerrigan, the leader of the Zerg. We don't know why, but now apparently there's some pressure to race against her in collecting them. Anyway.
Be good.
Pressure.
And I want to now. Raynor's face actually appears here, but I don't want Raynor in this scene. So I'm gonna get to the point where just before she starts disappearing in this little area. Let me check with chat, make sure everything's okay with you guys. Think everything's okay? I thought about that, Dissulfurum, taking Kerrigan from the previous episodes, but that doesn't accomplish what I want to accomplish. What I'm doing here is I'm recapping the previous mission. So I want to show the gameplay and not the cinematics. Secondly, I don't want to reuse resources that I've used before. So I'm using Kerrigan here to recap because it's been 4 days since my last video. And so this recap is pretty important. So actually showing you what happened at the end of the last one is more important than having a good cinematic quality here. So instead of a lot of people make that mistake that you just made. And I'm not saying your way is bad. I'm not, because your way would actually produce a more visually appealing way of recapping things. It would, but it doesn't fully accomplish the goal that I want. A lot of people think things need to just look cool and like, oh, that's got to be awesome, but they don't really focus on what it should accomplish. So that's what I'm trying to do here. I know what I want to accomplish, and that is an accurate recap to really transition them into this next mission with the story. So that's what I'm doing here. So here goes. What was I doing? Oh yeah, I'm trying to find the last scene where Kerrigan, just before she disappears. Let me save my project here, because Adobe Premiere Elements 8 is known to crash on me a bit. There we go. That right there is the next frame where she starts to fade. So I'm going to cut just before that happens. Cut. And I can go ahead and clear this out now. Clear out all that stuff. Okay, so now we've got these scenes here, all lined up, and they're timed well. And what I need to do is, see how this one is smaller than the rest? I need to make sure all the rest of these are about this size too. So let's come here. And the way I do that is I actually drag this one up a little bit. Oops. Let's go ahead and not show the audio tracks for a moment. There we go. I drag this one up a bit, and I overlap it with the next one on the timeline. So that whenever I come here, I can see them both. See how I can see the previous scene with the Marauders here and this scene? So I can click on the next scene and drag it down to the exact same size as the previous one. There we go. Let me make sure those look good. They do. No, they're a little bit... Their size is just a bit off. Let me grab the one in the back. I believe the one in the back is the one that needs resizing. Okay, let me undo everything real quick, because I need to redo this. There we go, I just used Control-Z to undo. Now I'll select the larger scene again, and drag it to where it's just in the right frame. That takes a little practice, it does. I'm going to remove this frame now, this scene. They still change just a bit. Control-Z. Control-Z, select again. I don't know which one is larger or smaller. Oh, okay, I think I can see better now. Control-Z, Control-Z. It actually would be better if I dragged this one above the previous one, which is what I'll do. There we go. Now I can drag the one on top to the size of the one before it. I think there's still something in the back. Nope, those look good.
So on the last time that we played, by the way, as a recap, last time we did get some of these Marauders from Swan to help us out and capture another artifact. We also discovered...
Okay, so now I gotta drag this one to do the same thing. This one put on top of the previous scene, and drag it to that scene's size. Just right about there. Yep. Okie doke. So now we've got those scenes here. Let's watch what we've just worked on. think it's crashing. I think it's crashing. That's what Premiere Elements tends to do. Please play. Please don't crash. My PC is still... There it goes. There's the crash. Okay, so I'll cancel that. And I'll reopen it. That's okay, my save at every step. It's okay, I didn't lose any work. But I do put up with that on a fairly regular... Well, not really fairly regularly, actually. It's just whenever I'm really taxing it. Yeah, I save all the time. Open project, Wings of Liberty 006. What's my bitrate and XSplit? I'll have to tell you later. I don't want to go into my settings because there's like stuff like my password and all kinds of other things. I know you can't really see that, but I don't want to reveal anything that I don't want to reveal, you know? I might put that down in the info thing a little later. This tea is amazing. Okay. See, here's all our work still. I'm going to save again. I don't even know why I save an open project, but I do it. And we have these scenes all at the right size. Okay, good. See, I didn't lose any work at all. Alright, so now let's see what we've just worked on.
Marauders, which we saw on the last time that we played. By the way, as a recap, last time we did get some of these Marauders from Swan to help us out and capture another artifact. We also discovered in the previous mission that Kerrigan is going after these artifacts. Sarah Kerrigan, the leader of the Zerg. We don't know why, but now apparently there's some pressure to race against her in collecting them.
Okay, now, I realize it cuts off a little soon, but through the magic of transitions, we're able to make it seem like it's... Well, it will be not seem, it actually will be a natural transition. I'm not going to show audio tracks. Now, what I do also, in order to make this really pop out, really noticeable, is I add a fade in here on this first scene. So fade in video. So now this scene is going to fade in slowly, see? But that's not enough. I've also got to have it... I've also got to select the actual main video, and we're going to be playing with its brightness setting. So now this little yellow bar represents brightness. I'm going to zoom in here on the timeline so we can get frame by frame accuracy. And I'm going to move this here. Zoom in even more, actually. Now we're actually working on a frame by frame level, which we were before, but a little more closely. And I'm going to add a keyframe on the main video, and I'm actually going to add another keyframe because see these little white dots right here? This is the keyframe that leads to the fade in on the scene that we're looking at. So I'm going to select that exact same frame and add a keyframe on the main video. There we go, just like that. And I'm going to drag down the brightness of the main video to about half, about negative 46.15. Perfect. Okay, so now you see in the background here, now the background video fades to, not black, but it fades to a darkness. So you know it's still there, but it gives this little scene in the middle a sort of cinematic quality. It's almost like you're in the movies. And I love how StarCraft's little terminals and things like that have this little teal or green or whatever color you want to call that outline, because it gives me perfect frames to put these things in, and it looks fantastic. So anyway, now the background scene fades out, and the foreground scene is a lot more noticeable, and it really kind of pulls you out of the main video and really creates in your mind a new segment as I'm recapping, because I want the recap to actually be another segment. Just like when you're writing something and you start a new paragraph, you might put like a big title that says previously or whatever like that, and you have a little paragraph, and then you get into the main thing. It's kind of like creating a new subsection. So anyway, let's see how that actually looks.
Saw on the last time that we played. By the way, as a recap, last time we did get some of these Marauders from Swan to help us out and capture another artifact. We also discovered in the previous mission that Kerrigan is going after these artifacts. Sarah Kerrigan, the leader of the Zerg. We don't know why, but now apparently there's some pressure to race.
Now, I want to do a similar fade in by right-clicking this next scene and go fade out for this foreground scene. Fade out video there. Control S to save. And again, I'm going to zoom in on the timeline to that exact frame and add another keyframe on the main video. And then we'll scroll all the way to the end here and add another keyframe at the very end of the fade out. And we'll bring the main video's brightness back up to 0, which is where the natural is, natural brightness. So now it fades back in as the foreground scene is fading out. And what that does is, because I'm still talking through the recap, is it brings you back to the scene at hand. It brings you back to the game that is currently being played. And because of my mouse movements in the game, it really pulls you back in, because the next thing I say is, anyway, and then I click on stuff. So it really shows you, okay, now we're getting back to the topic at hand. So let's watch that whole thing. This is the finished product.
These are Marauders, which we saw on the last time that we played. By the way, as a recap, last time we did get some of these Marauders from Swan to help us out and capture another artifact. We also discovered in the previous mission that Kerrigan is going after these artifacts. Sarah Kerrigan, the leader of the Zerg. We don't know why, but now apparently there's some pressure to race against her in collecting them. Anyway, here's the Hammer Security's 2 elite Marauders that we can summon down using our mercenary console. I'm not going to sign it. Oh, it's a fairly cheap contract too, 30,000. But I'm not going to sign it because there's a lot of other things going on at the moment. So I'll close out of that. So let's go drop by the laboratory where we have Stetman and Dr. Ariel Hansen working.
Okay. Right here at this exact spot where I just paused the video, the game actually goes quiet. It stops playing the background music in the cantina, you're no longer hearing the UI sounds, and there is a fade to black. You've got to use visual along with audio, and vice versa, because in doing so, you can sort of trick the viewer into thinking things are a natural progression, but things aren't actually natural here. The game is at negative 3.19 decibels right now, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the audio track here, and I'm actually going to add I'm just going to cut. I'm just going to do a cut. I'll show you keyframes in a little bit. But I'm going to cut this particular point, and I'm going to increase the game's audio to 4.95. That's as loud as my voice. In fact, a little bit louder. Yes, whenever the characters on StarCraft are talking, I like them to be louder than my voice actually is. So now we're going up to an additional 4.95 decibels. That's a change of almost 10 decibels. Actually more than 10 decibels. No, wait, no, it's not. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, between 7 and 10 decibels, whatever. 0.95, whatever. Now, because the scene is faded to black, the volume is going to sound good when the characters are talking. And it's because I adjusted the volume. Not because that's how the game naturally sounds, but because of the fade to black, it looks like it naturally plays that way. So let's see.
At the moment. So I'll close out of that. So let's go drop by the laboratory where we have Stetman and Dr. Ariel Hansen working.
Commander, the alien artifact is all secure in the lab, sir. You know, seeing it got me to thinking about my special projects.
Whoa, slow down, Stedman. What do you mean, projects? You doing some kind of research down here?
Yeah, well, you know, not yet, sir. I still need some additional specimens to get things going. Once I get those, we can make some big improvements to our weapon systems and tactics.
Well, I'm all for that. What do you need?
All kinds of things. I've entered the details into our database. If you run into something on a mission that we need, you'll be notified automatically.
Just try not to blow up the ship. Okay, Stetman?
Okay, so Stetman's been working with us for a while. Here he is.
I would normally bring the... You know what? I think I will. I think I want to here anyway. Because the background noise is still a little bit obtrusive. Just a tad obtrusive, I think. So what I'm going to do here...
Just try not to blow up the ship. Okay, Stetman?
Okay, that's the last thing Raynor says. So now I'm going to add a keyframe for the audio. Bam, keyframe right there. And what I want to do, even though there's just a short amount of time before the next time a character speaks, I'm going to drag out to the point where the scene fades out. Watch. Okay, and a great indicator for me at this particular point of where the scene actually comes back in is if you'll notice down here in the lower right, where the little Friends button is, the little BattleNet Friends button, whenever that appears is when I'm going to add the next keyframe. There it is. Now I'm going to add another keyframe here. Bam. And I actually want to lower the volume back down to negative 3.19. And there it is. So the audio decreases back to the standard area, the good baseline where I've chosen to put it. And again, because of the fade out and because of where the scene transitions into, it looks like it's a natural transition. But now the game is going to be nice and quiet for my commentary when I start talking. Not only that, but let me show you something else. You see how all this right here is just blank? This is me not talking right here, just to make sure I get the clearest audio possible in the game's cinematic scenes and dialogue. I actually like to cut right here. Let's go back to this exact frame. And I'm going to cut my narration out, because I'm not saying anything anyway. Why have that little bit of sound degradation when I don't have to? And I'm going to come back up to this particular point, to right before I start talking. There we go. Cut right there. Actually, that's not probably right there. Put one more frame before. There we go. Cut. And this little blank part right here where I'm not saying anything, right click, clear. Gone. So now we've literally only got the audio of the game. That way you don't sometimes hear, like, sometimes I might be having a drink while I'm playing StarCraft and recording it. That way you won't hear me sipping on my drink, or you won't hear my chair, like, you won't hear that kind of stuff. You won't hear me breathing. You won't hear any of the background noise, even though we did cut it out with Audacity. That way it's just as clear as possible. And again, here's that transition I was talking about with those keyframes we did earlier.
Okay, Stedman.
Okay, so Stedman's been working with us for a while. Here he is. A young prodigy. A genius, so to speak. He just hasn't had the resources to actually be able to do much for us until recently. We've actually seriously gotten on the move. But we can see here he's got a Zerg tank all set up. I'll read this out for you. This is his log, his notes that he's made on this particular specimen. The recovered Zerg sample is still growing. I introduced a protein solution. Might have been a mistake. At the cellular level, the sample shows strains of every known Zerg creature, and many other strains that I don't recognize. It will take a while to map it all, but I've already begun extracting data from an Ultralisk cell, and I found a spore crawler cell that yielded data on its instinctive threat recognition routines. Okay, so those Zerg research points that we've been collecting, and those Protoss research points, Stedman researches them and finds ways to use their technology, or their DNA strains and their ways of living, to help improve our own forces. Before I go any further, something's caught my eye, and I don't like it. There's a gap right here. I don't know why, but there's a gap right there. Those should be connected, and that worries me a lot. Oh wait, what's this all about? Why is this still here? I'm done with this Scene 2 thing from the previous mission. Okay, let's just zoom all the way out. Okay, that's the last bit. Clear that. And I don't think there are any more gaps between any of these others, but I want to make 100% certain. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to select this particular scene, and then I'm going to hold Shift and select all the rest of them so that they're all working in one big group. And I'm going to zoom into the frame level here and drag it so they connect. There we go. And that, I hope that doesn't mess up the timing at all. And now, this is going to be a little tedious, but I am going to scroll through and make sure they are all connected. Those two are connected. I don't think there's going to be any changes in anything else. Those two are connected. Okay, yeah. I think they're going to be consistently connected. Anyway, getting back to it. Let's check with the chat, see if you guys have any questions. I'm making people miss class. That's awesome. Losing a frame or two of video shouldn't affect your audio sync. But that frame or two would have been black anyway. But anyway, here goes. Right, this is where we were. We were reading this thing. Their DNA strains and their ways of living to help improve our own forces. So that's why it's important that we collect those, and that's why he's such an integral part of the crew. Here are the artifacts that we've been collecting this whole time. We've got them nice and secure here in our lab.
I've been hearing strange stories.
Okay. And again, it's another point of dialogue, and I want to increase the volume to 4.95. I have a couple of different options here. I could just cut at this particular point and increase the audio, but that sounds weird. It's noticeable. So, these little black bars that StarCraft gives me, perfect. Perfect place for a keyframe. There's a keyframe there. And whenever I'm going to set the previous keyframe to the point where I first click on the artifacts.
We've got them nice and secure here in our lab.
There's the click. You can actually see the whole scene change once the click starts. And that is where there's going to be the previous keyframe. So those 2 keyframes, and we're going to increase the auto to 4.95 at a gradual rate, but quickly. And that will lead to the next cinematic.
We've got them nice and secure here in our lab.
I've been hearing strange stories from the crew of late. Unexplained noises, strange visions, voices in the dark. Rumor has it these things are haunted.
Superstitious nonsense. These artifacts are completely inert and they're contained down here in the lab. There is some trace radiation, but I don't see how they could affect things elsewhere on the ship.
Heaven forbid we run across alien tech that messes with our primitive little monkey brains. Just keep a close eye on them, Doc.
Okay. Now that's a good point for a soft, gradual decrease in volume back to the standard point. There's my laugh right there, so what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to set a keyframe here. I'm actually going to cut my narration there and go back to the point where I stopped talking.
You're here in our lab.
There it is. Cut. Right click. Clear, so there's no background noise from me. And the volume can slowly decrease here.
Doc.
Right there. Maybe not as slowly as I thought, but still slowly enough. More keyframes. And back down to negative 3.19.
Monkey brains. Just keep a close eye on them, Doc.
Raynor knows things about things of this nature that even Dr. Ariel Hansen does not know. Raynor's been in contact with the Protoss, and he knows that they are a psionic race. So, and plus, Sarah Kerrigan was a ghost. The woman that he loved, yeah, she was a ghost. And let me explain what ghosts are real quick, just really quickly. Ghosts are Terran units, and they're spec ops. They're special operations. They're snipers, they can cloak, which is why they're called ghosts, and they're surgical precision units. They can launch nuclear missiles and all that stuff. But the reason that they're called ghosts, well, the reason they can do most of this stuff is because they are gifted humans. They're born, I believe they're born with special psionic capabilities, like the beginnings of the next evolution.
This particular next scene is not the right volume, so I'm going to set that to the right volume real quick. Why is that not jumping down to 3.19? It's jumping down in increments of 15. What the hell? Because I'm not zoomed in close enough? Oh, that's balance. Why is that set to balance? There we go. It's really weird.
Evolution in human... Well, the next step in human evolution. Ghosts are innately psionic, and the Terran Confederacy, which used to rule before Minx's dominion, the Terran Confederacy used to implant chips in ghosts' brains to help enhance and control that psionic capability of the ghosts. And Kerrigan was an especially gifted one. Anyway, so my point is Raynor knows things about that kind of stuff, which is why he sounded kind of sarcastic when he was talking to her about superstition and nonsense. Speaking of Dr. Ariel Hansen.
Okay, so now there's going to be a click here. I can actually gradually increase the clip volume from about right here. Up to 4.95 again. There we go. I can actually click this and cut my narration. There we go.
Kind of sarcastic when he was talking to her about superstition and nonsense. Speaking of Dr. Ariel Hansen.
That Zerg woman seemed to know you. She really rattled you, didn't she?
Me and her, well, we go back a ways. She was a ghost once. Back then, we were hooked up with Minsk and fighting to get rid of the old Confederacy. We made a pretty good team.
What happened to her?
She was a casualty of war. No offense, Doc, but I really don't like to talk about it.
I understand. If you ever change your mind, I'm here.
Now the game actually has a natural decrease in volume here that I can use as a cut.
Here.
But I don't want to cut. I'd rather... No, a cut would be good. in this particular point because there is no real way to ease the volume out. I'm actually going to use a cut instead. This is the second technique that I use. I use keyframes and cuts, and the keyframe down here is fine. I'm sorry, the cut here is fine because cuts are a little bit jarring. Cuts are more noticeable for people whenever the volume changes. So I try and use them sparingly, unless I can find specific points where the game itself actually has a decrease in audio, and I can work with the game rather than coming up with my own little section to work with. So anyway, since there's a cut there, I'm actually going to put a cut here for my narration, and that's where it'll be cleared out.
I'm here.
She's got nice earrings. They suit her well. They're understated, but you can notice them, and they go well with her lab coat. Anyway, speaking of the Zerg and Protoss research that we've been collecting, here is our research console. Now, we've got two different trees of research, Protoss and Zerg. You can see here we've collected 4 Protoss research.
I'm going to pause there, because I want to see... I wanted to check the chat to see what you guys thought of the whole earrings thing. Anyway, going back to the video.
Research points up to this point, and we've collected enough for Zerg research so we can upgrade one of our units here in these trees. But the thing about this is there's no going back once you choose between one of these two paths. We do not currently have enough Protoss research points to begin researching anything Protoss related, but we do have enough for the Zerg. So let's see what we can get with this. The Shrike turret, which we briefly mentioned in the last video, this attaches a turret to the top of all bunkers innately, and adds a little bit of extra firepower to them. You can see these 2 bunkers are completely unmanned, but they're still able to fend off these Zerglings. All that extra firepower could be useful. The other potential option that we have is the fortified bunker. Here we see an Ultralisk charging in, and the bunker is going to take the punishment from it.
Pausing the editing here real quick. Fun fact, I don't think that's actually an Ultralisk. I think that's one of the bigger Ultralisks. Not the Brutalisks, but I think they're called Tarasks or Torasks. Anyway, I think it's one of those elite Ultralisks, because I think it's got 2 pairs of blades, and it looks a little bit different. But anyway, that's just a fun little fact. Moving on, I just call it an Ultralisk in the video because I don't really want to explain that. I don't have the time in the video to do that. But anyway, let's go on.
Ultralisks are no joke. They're powerful units. So we've got a choice. We can either choose between the fortified bunker, giving them more ability to take more of a punishment, so they're tankier, much tankier, or we can select the Shrike turret. You can only choose one, and you can never go back. So we have to make a crucial choice here. Another thing, for those of you who are really following the storyline, the reason we're able to research the Shrike turret is because Stetman was able to locate the Zerg strain for a Spore Crawler, which is a Zerg defensive unit that, well, it's kind of weird because Spore Crawlers attack air, but using the Spore Crawler's innate ability to sense threats, so that finding a way that it has a biological way to detect friend and foe, and so that it can detect cloaked units and things like that. By researching that, he was able to find out a good way to implement these types of turrets on our bunkers so that they're automatic, and they too can determine threats, friend and foe, and select targets and properly destroy them. So the Spore Crawler is the inspiration for the Shrike turret, and the Ultralisk, oddly enough, which is going up against the bunker at this point, the way that the Ultralisk's hardened plating, the way its carapace is structured, by researching the way that the Zerg are evolved, we were able to make improvements to the way our bunkers are constructed. So we have to choose one of these two. I really don't know. I have to think about that for a moment. I want to give you guys the choice to do it, but I don't want to cut the video off here. So I guess I'll make this choice myself. Shrike turret, fortified bunker. Lending extra firepower.
Gotta pull this clip's volume down real quick before we continue, because it's at the 0, instead of -3.
Power to our turrets is always a good thing. You see, we can... Okay, let me close out of this really quickly so we can see what Swan has to offer down in the armory. Let's go to the armory real quick before we make any choices here. So here we are back in the armory with Swan. Hey Swan, how's it going?
Okay, at this point I click on Swan, and I am going to give him do credit and actually increase this volume just for a bit, just so he gets his little word in.
So here we are back in the armory with Swan. Hey Swan, how's it going?
Gotta hand it to you, Chief. Stealing an artifact out from under the Zerg and the Protoss? You sure go big.
Okay. Now we'll decrease the volume back down after he said something to about right here. Also, I've got to sneeze. Gotta mute it. Okay. So anyway, let's bring the volume back down. Yes, I did increase the volume. I did take the time to increase the volume just so Swan could get his word in. It's not even an important cinematic, just a little comment he made. So anyway, there we go.
So here we are back in the armory with Swan. Hey Swan, how's it going?
Gotta hand it to you, Chief. Stealing an artifact out from under the Zerg and the Protoss? You sure go big.
That we do, Swan. But you wouldn't be with us if we didn't, would you? Anyway, here we have the Marauder. We've seen the Firebat already, but here the Marauder has joined us. This is our new tech that Swan was able to get us. Again, I'm not going to spend too much time on this. Just wanted to click it to show you guys what they look like up close. And I'm going to go back now. And now into the Armory console, which does have some new upgrades for our units. You can see the Marauder has been added, and he does have some, Swan does have some upgrades for our Marauder, concussive shells being one. The concussive shells, as you can see, these zealots, which are fairly beefy melee units themselves, and they can take quite a bit of punishment, can't reach these Marauders on the high ground, because the concussive shells upgrade is slowing them as they're moving towards them. By the time they finally do get within melee range, they've been softened up to the point, and they're so few in number, that the Marauders have an easy time dispatching of them. So that's an incredibly useful upgrade for us, but it costs 70,000 out of our 200,000, and the other upgrade for them is to give them a little bit more tankiness. They get an extra 25 life. And you can see that they can stand up against these roaches. That's fairly self-explanatory. That just makes them a little bit tankier. But we're not here for that. We're here to look at the base upgrades, because we're looking at... This is one instance where I'm actually going to pull the volume down a little bit. I very rarely go below the negative 3.19 baseline that I've been using. But, I don't know, Marauders... Their weapons seem to pack a little bit more noise than the rest. They are launching those grenades. So, throughout that whole thing, I found my voice to be just a little bit difficult to hear. Just a tad. Like, it's just a perfectionist thing. So I'm going to actually decrease the volume at the point where you hear the game go ching. That little click that you get, that little sound that you get for clicking on the upgrade icon. I'm going to decrease the volume right there as a cut rather than as a fade. There it is. Let's listen for that sound now, frame by frame. Well, we can't really hear it clearly, so we're just going to rely on the visual again. As soon as I click it and it turns green is where I will add the cut. There it is. There's the click. So I will cut here. And I will decrease the volume by just a bit. We were at negative 3.19. Now we're at negative 5.37. Slight difference. Concussive shells being one. The concussive shells, as you can see, these zealots, which are fairly beefy melee units themselves, and they can take quite a bit of punishment, can't reach these Marauders on the high ground, because the concussive shells upgrade is slowing them as they're moving towards them. By the time they finally do get within melee range, they've been softened up to the point, and they're so few in number, that the Marauders have an easy time dispatching of them. So that's an incredibly useful upgrade for us, but it costs 70,000 out of our 200,000, and the other upgrade for them is to give them a little bit more tankiness. They get an extra 25 life. And you can see that they can stand up against these roaches. That's fairly self-explanatory. That just makes them a little bit tankier. But we're not here for that. We're here to look at the base upgrades, because we're looking at Zerg research to improve our bunkers. Let's take a look at what we can combine with Swan's upgrades to make our bunkers that much more valuable to us. We've got projectile accelerators, which will increase the range of all units in the bunker by 1, giving them more offensive power, and the Neo-Steel bunker upgrade, which increases the number of bunker slots by 2, letting us put in 6 Marines, or more units within bunkers than we were able to prior, which again increases their firepower. So, both of the upgrades that Swan has for us are offensive, increasing the range of our units and increasing the number of units the bunkers can hold. Let's head back to the laboratory. We can either fully implement an offensive bunker by implementing the strike turret, or we can balance the bunker by adding an extra 150 life to them. I think having a balanced bunker is more my way to go, but it still would be really cool to see bunkers manned with 6 Marines and strike turrets take out waves of Zerg or enemy Protoss units or whatever coming in at the same time. I really think it's better to have a balance, but the strike turret looks so cool. It just looks awesome on top of the bunkers. But it's more practical, I think, to have a balanced bunker and go with 150 life. I don't know. I hate these choices that you can't go back. I might have to edit the video here while I think about it. Give me a sec.
Okay, and I actually do take some time to think about it. And I do have to cut that part so that people don't have to sit there and watch. Look how long I take. Look at that long gap of time that I actually take to think about that. So I'm going to save the project here. Check with the chat to make sure you guys are still having fun. And who else do we have here now? Okay, so alright, there's a lot of time here, and I'm actually going to cut this point where I do a lot of thinking, so I'm going to select both of these channels here, the game channel and the narration channel, and cut here. And we're going to scroll forward to the point where we begin talking again. And you can see down here in the lower right here, where the waveform starts talking again, that's where I actually start talking. Look at all this time that I spend just sitting here. So anyway, let's see what I actually say there. I think I do a false start here. I think I start saying something and then I don't like what I say, so then I start saying something again as a different way of saying it. Also, let's bring the volume back down. No, not yet. Yes, yet. We're going to get back down to 3.19. There we go.
Okay, guys, I'm back. I realized that was just an instant for you with the editing.
And I don't want to add that because I don't really want to talk too much about the editing in the game itself. So that's a false start. So we're actually not going to include that commentary. We are going to include the point where we start talking right here, though. And actually, just so that the audio is still the same, I'm going to bring this down to -5 because I realize that's where I left it before. I think it's just a better volume for this research console.
Okay, guys, I've made my decision. I'm going to select the...
Okay, that's good. So now I'm going to have just a little bit of a lead-in, just a few frames worth of a lead-in. Actually, I think this is good right here. We will cut both of these. And we will select all of this stuff right here, and then just hit the delete key, and that will automatically remove this and close the gap. There it is. And we need to add a transition, not too tough. Select all 4 of these different points, right click, and apply the default transition. Actually, no, I don't want the default transition because that's a crossfade. Instead, I'm going to go to Edit, Save, go to Transitions, and I'm going to go to my favorites because I have some favorite ones. Dip to black is a really good one. So I'm going to dip to black here. That actually should be perfect.
This is that you can't go back. I might have to edit the video here while I think about it. Give me a sec. Okay, guys, I've made my decision. I'm going to select the...
That looked good, but I think there's too much of a lead in there. So I'm going to select both of these and pull this back so that's a little bit closer to the voice. There we go.
I might have to edit the video here while I think about it. Give me a sec. Okay, guys, I've made my decision. I'm going to select the strike turret, and I'll tell you why. Although the fortified bunker is more my style, I do like to play the tanky types.
Again, I'm going to decrease this volume down to -5.19 because that's where we're at. Sorry, 5.37.
Why? Although the fortified bunker is more my style, I do like to play the tanky types in most games that I play. Like in World of Warcraft, I played 2 dedicated tanks. in League of Legends, I really enjoy playing Shen, who is a tank character. I really like I really like units that can take a lot of punishment and be integral to groups and armies that way. And last time I played this on normal difficulty, like a year and a half ago when this game first came out, I chose the fortified bunker for this because that's my playstyle. So because the Shrike turret looks so awesome, and because I am making videos, and visuals are important in videos because that's what video actually means, visual, and because I didn't get to see what the Shrike turret how it actually performs last time I played, I'm gonna go with the Shrike turret just because I want all that offensive power to be pushed out of these bunkers. So I'm gonna select the Shrike turret for this one. Warning: researching the Shrike turret will prevent you from researching fortified bunker. Once made, the choice will be irreversible. Would you like to confirm this research decision? Yes. We have it. We've selected the Shrike turret. So now all of our bunkers that are built will have Shrike turrets atop them. We can leave the lab now. We've experienced.
Now the background noise is a little too quiet at that point, so I'm going to go back to 3.19 at the point where it cuts. It's such a slight difference, but there's a click there, and once we fade to black here, I'm going to add a keyframe, and once it fades completely in, right there, another keyframe, we're going to go up 2 decibels or so to 3.19. There we go. Very slight gradual. Look at those keyframes. There's such a slight ramp up, but it's important to me. And we just crashed again. Cool. Good thing I saved. I gotta be honest, it rarely crashes twice on me in one session. Let's go open this back up. I'm also out of tea. I don't know what to do about that. Let's let this load back up. I do want more tea. Editing without tea is like... I was going to make a very crude joke there, but never mind. Let's go back to where we were. Okay, so that slight ramp up is still there. Like I said, I save like after everything that I do here. So let's hear that slight ramp up.
To top them. We can leave the lab now. We've experienced everything here, so let's head back to the armory. Select the upgrade console. And we will also, I think I'll upgrade both of these for our bunker. Purchase that, and purchase that. There we go. So now our bunker, the units in our bunkers are putting out further range, and there's more units in there, and the bunker itself is putting out a lot more damage. And for our infantry upgrades, I think I'm going to research stabilizer med packs for our medics, which will increase the potency of their healing, and also make their healing more efficient. There we go. So now we've actually used our credits. We're down to 5,000, and we've got some significant upgrades for our base and our units at this point. Let's leave the armory now and head back to the bridge, where we only have Matt Horner, apparently.
This is a good point for a cut. A really good point for a cut, because it just cuts straight to the conversation. There we go. I could really go either way on this one. Either a keyframe... It is a good point for a cut, but I prefer the keyframes when I can use them. So I'm actually going to increase the audio, the entire, and the longer you can get an increase, like the more time that can pass during the volume increase, the better, or decrease, the better, because it makes it more subtle and it's a lot less noticeable. So look how most of my keyframes have been pretty close together up to this point, but this one's going to be a little bit longer, it's going to be less noticeable, and it's going to lead smoothly into the conversation. So I'm going to get to the point where we leave this area. And right here at the fade to black, I'm going to add another keyframe, a little bit of a longer jump, and up to 4.95, so that as it's fading in, you can kind of get a feel for the volume, and as we get closer to talking to Matt, it'll be at max volume at that point.
Back to the bridge, where we only have Matt Horner, apparently.
Are you all right, sir? Confronting Kerrigan again after all these years. We've got to stop her, Matt. No matter what she's after.
Well, we gave her a setback today. The artifacts are obviously important to her. I just wish we knew why.
Yeah.
And we'll bring it back down here. Right there. Back down to negative 3.19. And we're going to be doing some more adjustments in just a bit, but first I'm going to cut the narration on this part. Cut and clear. Okay.
Where we only have Matt Horner, apparently.
Are you alright, sir? Confronting Kerrigan again after all these years.
We've got to stop her, Matt. No matter what she's after.
Well, we gave her a setback today. The artifacts are obviously important to her. I just wish we knew why.
Yeah. It is a race against Kerrigan to get these artifacts. So let's check out what we've got to do on the star map. Okay. In the last video, I asked you guys to choose between Meinhof and Redstone. Meinhof is the mission that Dr. Ariel Hansen wants us to go on. And Redstone is the mission where Gabriel Tosh actually hit us up out of nowhere. I have no idea how he contacted us, but he did. I actually noticed in the comments a pretty even spread between Meinhof and Redstone 3. I'm going to select Redstone 3 because a lot of people made some pretty good arguments about being able to use the unit that is available to us there.
I hear the mighty Jim Raynor's on the move.
Too quiet. Anyway, we've got to get the click. Here's a good cut point. Okay, where the scene changes, I will add a cut. Bring it up to 4 point... that was weird. Bring it up to 4.95. There we go.
Because a lot of people made some pretty good arguments about being able to use the unit that is available to us there.
I hear the mighty Jim Raynor's on the move.
No, that's it's too much of a noticeable jump right there. So right here, we will have a jump up from here. Again, I try to put as much time as I can during the transition so that it's less noticeable.
I'm going to select Redstone 3 because a lot of people made some pretty good arguments about being able to use the unit that is available to us there.
I hear the mighty Jim Raynor's on the move, but short on funds. The planet Redstone's got the most valuable minerals around, and with the Zerg invasion, the Kilmorians backed up and left it all behind. Some enterprising men could turn a big profit there. Meet me at Redstone if you want a piece of the action.
Sure.
And we can again do a keyframe right where he's done talking. There we go, just at that exact point. Keyframe there. Bring this down. Okay. And also let's cut my voice. Let's cut the narration here. Just the silent points. This is a good spot right here. And we will cut that silence. There we go. No need to listen to that all again. We know it sounds good. We can just listen to the transition.
Meet me at Redstone if you want a piece of the action.
Sure thing, Gabriel Tosh. So, why do I keep saying everybody's full names? I'll just call him Tosh, I guess. Because I think that's what he refers to himself as. I think he introduces himself as Tosh. But, yeah, another thing is, Redstone 3 also offers 3 research points, whereas Meinhof only offers 2. Yes?
Jim, refugee populations from across the sector have...
Okay, you can shut up for a moment. We don't need to hear that. They both offer the same credits, but Redstone gives us access to the
Sorry, I didn't realize how funny that was. I didn't want to laugh over the video, so I had to... The thing is, we're not going into that mission, so I didn't want her to talk and do her little spiel. We'll listen to it whenever we do go to Meinhof, okay? make some more tea. I'll be right back, guys. I'm gonna mute this real quick. Anyway, enough of that. Happy birthday, Odkin. Let's close out of Winamp. Let's minimize this and get back to the editing. Thank you, Water. Control save. And where were we at? Oh, right.
Research points, whereas...
Let's listen to that again, because it was funny. Oh, great. Why is it doing this? It's probably because I'm running... I wonder if it's like a memory issue where that happens or something. Another crash. Open project. It's going to take a lot longer than I thought. Like, we're only 15 minutes into the video that we're editing. And I've been doing this for like, what, an hour and a half now? Maybe a little shorter than that. How long have I been streaming? I don't know. See you later, Thermans. This is the third time it's crashed, Link. Alright, let's get back to that point.
Yeah, another thing is, Redstone 3 also offers 3 research points, whereas Meinhof only offers 2. Yes.
Jim, refugee populations from across the sector have...
Okay, you can shut up for a moment. We don't need to hear that. They both offer the same credits, but Redstone gives us access to the Reaper, which is a pretty cool unit, and I want to show you guys what that is. And I don't believe the last time I played, I actually made much use of Reapers, to be honest. But some people said that Reapers are really good on Meinhof. So if we go through Redstone 3 first, then we'll have them available on Meinhof, which will make it an easier mission for us. So I'm going to select Redstone 3. I think that's all I wanted to cover before this point, so let's get to it. We would be going after another artifact, but so far Mobius, who's Tychus' employer, has not given us any leads on what the next one is. So let's head over to Redstone. Again, brutal difficulty.
Keyframe. And up to 4.95 for the next cutscene. 4.95 here as well.
So let's get to it. We would be going after another artifact, but so far Mobius, who's Tychus' employer, has not given us any leads on what the next one is. So let's head over to Redstone. Again, brutal difficulty.
Redstone. Heck of a place. I ever mention how much I hate volcanic planets?
Good to see you made it. They call me Tash. You help me mine the minerals I need, and I'll make it worth your while.
What's the catch?
Well, this place is a little unstable. The low ground gets flooded with...
I have to check this. I don't know if this is 4.95 or a little bit higher, because it looks a tad higher. It's 5.7. That's what I thought. Let's bring this back down and go to 4.95. I landed. It's a little too high. There we go.
your while.
What's the catch?
Well, this place is a little unstable. The low ground gets flooded with lava every few minutes. Of course, that's where the richest mineral nodes are found. But that'll be no problem for a big, tough guy like you.
Sir, I'm also picking up Zerg biosignatures on the surface. We'll need to spend some of what we mine just to defend the operation. The more we spend, the longer this is gonna take.
Lava and Zerg. Two of my favorite things. Let's do this.
And I can just do a solid cut here because there's no sound. And back down to 3.19, even though we're going to kick it back up very shortly. We'll also do this. Let's go to that exact. I'm gonna get to the exact frame where I cut the video, just because I think it works best that way. Again, will be. Oops, that's the wrong button. I clicked on Add Title, and I meant to cut. So we'll remove this title that I just added on accident. Go back down here. Cut the narration. And again, this is all the stuff that I've shown you guys prior. It's a good spot.
Raynor's got a history with Zerg and with lava planets. See, the Zerg's previous homeworld was a planet called Char, a volcanic world. Raynor's not too fond of either. Here we are. Let's begin macroing up some units right off the bat. Gold minerals. I'll explain what those are in a bit. I'm trying to get my bearings here.
SCV ready.
I'm also anxious to build a bunker.
Better be good. By the numbers, boys. SCV ready.
Okay, that little that's a great thing that they have in StarCraft for me while I'm editing, and the way that these frames appear, because they let me know exactly where I can make my cuts. Also, the game naturally brings down the volume of the game itself to allow the characters to speak. It does what I do, basically. It brings down the volume of the game and increases the volume of the people speaking. So I just help the game do that when I edit this way. So whenever I hear that beep, I'm actually going to do a cut rather than a keyframe. There it is. Just as that frame appears, I like to do the cut right here, because it's natural that way.
By the numbers, boys. SCV ready.
Alert. Lava surge imminent. Evacuate low ground immediately.
Lava's rising. Get those SCVs to high ground, right now.
Armed and ready. SCV ready. Yeah.
So the lava has risen above.
Okay. Notice how loud that is compared to my voice now? I forgot to bring the volume back down after Rainer finished talking.
Ground, right now.
Frame goes away. Throw another cut in there. Bring it down to my baseline.
SCVs to high ground, right now.
Armed and ready. SCV ready. Yeah.
Now, there's a point where, actually, this is a good instance where normally when I cut intermissions, this is a good instance where keyframes are okay, because I don't talk for a while after Rainer talks. So I'm actually going to add a keyframe here. Actually, I'm going to go Control Z to undo, and then undo the volume change. And I will leave the cut, but I'm going to undo the volume change there. Where is that? Let's see. No, yeah, I'll do that. Put a keyframe there. And I will go over to where Rainer finishes talking.
Right now.
There we go. Another keyframe. And I'll gradually drop it down to 3.19 again, my baseline, because it's nice and slow, and then whenever I start talking, it'll be at a good volume. That way things seem a little more natural.
Lava's rising. Get those SCVs to high ground, right now.
Armed and ready. SCV ready. Yeah.
So the lava has risen above the mineral line. We have to keep pulling our SCVs back in this mission. You can also see that our objectives are to collect 8,000 minerals.
Who wants some?
All clear.
The adjutant is talking again, so we'll bring it back to 495.
To collect 8,000 minerals.
Who wants some?
All clear. It is now safe to proceed with mining operations.
And because it happens so suddenly, I'll also make it... No, we'll do a keyframe as well. I like to try and give the game as much credit as I possibly can here. I might make my baseline 5.37 from this point on, because I think the lava is just a little too loud. So let's do that.
It is now safe to proceed with mining operations. Not enough minerals.
So, we've got to collect 8,000 minerals. But the thing is, as we continue to spend...
I think I'm a little too loud, so we'll make the baseline 319, where I had it before, so we're good. Oh, another crash. Sarek seems a little upset. Sidechain audio ducking. We'll do that automatically. I will look it up. I don't think it'll do it to the level that I do it, though. I honestly don't. I don't think there's any level, I don't think there's anything that will automatically do it to the precision that I do it. Hello, Kate. I've tried using things like that before, and they don't ever get as accurate as this, or... I don't know, you can never remove that human element. Like, getting things to be done automatically never gives you the precise result that you want. I'll look into it, but I'm not confident it will do it that way. And I don't blame other people for wanting to save their time and getting, like, even if it gets you like 95% of the way there, that's fine. That extra 5% is still something that I would feel I would mourn the loss for. So, and plus I really like doing this kind of stuff. To gain that extra little bit of 5%. Anyway, a little bit. I could go on a long rant about that, but I'm trying to edit this video. This video is taking long enough as it is, so we'll see. See you later. Thanks for the tip, though. Let's see. I want to be the guy. No, thank you. I want to be the bossy. No, thank you. Aw, White Winged Devil got dumped. Sorry, dude. Sarek. Vector. Terrible joke. But a good one, too. Terrible jokes are often very awesome. Now we're getting at weird talks. Anyway, moving on.
Proceed with mining operations. Not enough minerals.
I want to make sure this is the correct volume. 3.19 is where I was at before. Save. There we go.
So, we've got to collect 8,000 minerals. But the thing is, as we continue to spend minerals to make more army and to build up our bases and to build up our macro and things like that, we can't reach that. It makes it more difficult to reach that. So you've got to be really efficient with your use of minerals here. I think I'll put a tech lab on this barracks. And I'm probably going to need another barracks too.
Okay, here's an instance where I'm talking over the game, bringing in a character talking. So I'm going to use a keyframe here. To just before, to the point where just after I'm talking and just before Tosh starts talking. You actually see his mouth opening up to let out his first introductory word in this transmission here. This is good right here. And I'll begin increasing the volume at the beep beep. There it is.
Tech lab on this barracks. And I'm probably going to need another barracks too.
I got some friends coming to help you out. Reapers.
Reapers, you say? Hell, cowboy, we gotta train more of these guys. They're seriously badass. Badass. I'm listening.
Yes.
Add-on complete.
These Reapers are pretty badass. They are fast-moving, light units themselves, but they can jump on high terrain. They can jump up and down across terrain that most units can't. Problem is, they're not very durable. And I can train up more of them, I suppose. But you need a tech lab to be able to train more Reapers. To be able to train more Reapers.
Some of my boys disappeared in this area. Want to see if they're still alive.
Alright.
Alright, I'm gonna wait for my next Reaper to...
I like the way that Reaper's got that alright bit, so I want to leave it at high volume there, because it seems like a natural response to Tosh. He's like, I want to see if my boys are still fine, or whatever. And the Reaper's like, alright. So I want to leave that volume exactly where it is. And then do a fade right after that.
Alright,
I actually say alright myself, too. Like, alright. Then we'll bring it down. There we go.
Alive. Yeah. Want to see if they're still alive.
Alright.
Alright, I'm gonna wait for my next Reaper to come up before I send a force to go check that out. Tosh has given us an optional objective.
Bring this one back down to 319 as the base. And I think 319 is effective there, so that's good. What I'll do, I think I can do all of these automatically now. Select all of these here. I think I can drag them all to 319 with this. Nope. What I can do is I can select... I don't want to use an automated way to do it, but if I can select this one clip and go to Show Properties and go to Volume, which is at -3.2, which is where we're at right there. If I click on Volume and I hold Control-C, I can actually copy that property of this clip. I can hit Done. And then I can select all these other ones that we haven't done that to yet. And then I can Control-V for Paste, and you'll watch this little line drop down to 3.19 for all of them. There it is. So that way we don't have to keep adjusting. The reason I didn't do that sooner is because you can see all these keyframes we've done here, and we weren't actually in the mission yet, so I was actually fine-tuning a lot of this. But now we've got them all at the baseline that we wanted at, and in the consoles we wanted it at -5, sometimes we wanted it at -3, but we know in the mission we're going to want it at -3 most of the time, so that's how come I decided to do the baseline just then. But anyway, continuing on.
You need a tech lab to be able to train more Reapers.
Some of my boys disappeared in this area. Want to see if they're still alive.
Alright.
Alright, I'm gonna wait for my next Reaper to come up before I send a force to go check that out. Tosh has given us an optional objective. You can also see our minerals are running out here. Now, gold minerals produce more minerals than your normal blue minerals.
This better got something for me to kill.
And those are found in multiplayer as well. Alright, let's throw a tech lab on this.
SCV ready.
Sir?
Here we'll have a cut.
For me to kill.
And those are found in multiplayer as well. Alright, let's throw a tech lab on this.
SCV ready.
Sir? Scanners show a large biosignature close to your position. A brutalist, I think. If you could kill it, that'd get my our research off to a flying start.
Add-on.
Notice what I did there while playing. I do it all for the production quality of the video. In StarCraft, if you hold down your middle click and then drag, it will drag the scene wherever you drag your mouse. Most of the time in StarCraft, you want to click on the minimap or do slight adjustments by dragging your mouse to the edge of the screen, you know, and kind of moving your viewport that way. But this time, in order to make it a smooth view, I actually move, instead of like, if you notice down here in the lower left, instead of like hitting the space bar to automatically jump to that point, because that's kind of disorienting. If we're looking at the base, and then a notification goes off here, and we hit the space bar, and it automatically jumps down to look at the Brutalisk, you don't know where that is if you're just watching this part, and a lot of people aren't going to be watching the minimap. They're not playing, they're watching the game. So a lot of people aren't going to be watching the minimap innately, because, like you would in an actual game. So I manually dragged the scene down so you can get a reference for where that Brutalisk is in relation to our base. So that's how come I did that particular point. See that again.
A large biosignature close to your position, a Brutalisk, I think. If you could kill it, that'd get my our research off to a flying start.
And right there is a great place for me to add the keyframes.
Research off to a flying start.
Keyframe there. And back down to -3. I love the chat. The chat is awesome. How many people we got here?
A Brutalisk, I think. If you could kill it, that'd get my our research off to a flying start.
Add-on complete.
Okay, so that Brutalisk is another secondary objective, and that's obviously where one of the research points for this mission is. We're running out of minerals here.
Mineral field depleted.
Let's get a bunker down. Oh, this is going to be neat. I think I want to pack the bunkers tightly in this one, so they can support each other. Whoa! Speaking of which, Zerg already coming at us. Come on,
Mineral field depleted.
Whoa, that's right. Lava.
Seismic activity is increasing. Caution is advised.
Great.
Now, I didn't increase her volume because it's already audible enough. It's been spoken once, and this is going to be a recurring thing throughout the mission. She's going to keep saying that, so there's no reason to give it a lot of importance any more than the first time that we did. So I'm not going to be increasing her volume when she says that repeatedly throughout the mission.
Okay, so we've got some Reapers here.
Alert. Lava surge imminent. Evacuate low ground immediately.
Alright, so I want to move out here next. I guess we've got really no choice but to just sit here and wait. Let's load up this bunker now. Check that out. That looks cool. Oh, so many Marines went in there. All my Marines were able to fit in there.
All clear. It is now safe to proceed with mining operations.
Let's get another one down. Okay, we can keep mining now, but we're almost out. And I want to send these guys over to go see where Tosh's men went. Ah, you can see we lost one Reaper already, even though we had numerous of our own.
Base is under.
Tosh sent you to help? About time. Let's finish up this contract and get the hell off this planet.
That guy I will give some importance to. It sucks. This part particularly sucked, because I would have liked to have focused on this little particular aspect in the video, but the Zerg attacked at the exact same time, so I had to split my focus, and therefore that particular scene didn't have the impact that I wanted it to. But anyway. Yeah, I think a cut will be fine.
See, we lost one Reaper already, even though we had numerous of our own.
Base is on.
Tosh sent you to help? About time. Let's finish up this contract and get the hell off this planet.
A cut would have been good there, but the game automatically, and I know you guys probably didn't notice it, but I did, the game automatically lowered the volume of itself so that the audio could be played, so that the SCV could talk to us in that transmission. But with me cutting, I also increase the volume, which cancels out the game decreasing its own volume, and it just creates this slight jarring effect. A cut would have been great there, but I can't use a cut because of that. So instead, I have to use a keyframe. That way it's smoother. The problem is, if I do that, this combat is going to be a little louder than my voice. No. That's fine. Once the last unit dies, I can begin the keyframe. That poor Reaper up front. Oh, that Hydralisk actually gets one last shot off before it dies to kill that poor Reaper. Let's zoom in and see that, just for fun. You can see them dealing a bunch of damage to the Hydra. And then the Hydra launches one spine. Oh, they die at the precise same time. You can barely make out the spine, but actually if we do this, I can show you guys. Magnification, that's 100%. This is what the video is going to look like on screen. You see that tiny little gray line? Let's magnify it one more time. 400%. That tiny little gray line, which looks like part of the floor here, but before the Hydra shoots, it's not there. That's the spine that kills this poor Reaper. Oh no. Oh! You can see here the Reaper begins exploding. At the same moment, the Hydralisk begins spewing its death blood. Bleh! 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 Bleh, 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 bleh. Poor thing. Bleh, 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 bleh. I'm sorry, I feel for Hydralisks. I'm a Zerg player. And there's this poor Reaper. Boom! Oh, he just goes in a burst, doesn't he? That guy didn't feel a thing. I feel more sorry for the Hydra. Look at that. It's like, BAM! See, did you see that? My mouse cursor was right over him. I was just about to micro him away. See, I moved my mouse over to click on him so I can begin moving him individually so that that dreaded spine doesn't actually reach him, but he's too low on health and I don't get him. So instead, boom! That sucks. Play by play. Play by play. You guys can't remix that. That couldn't possibly sound good because I was offbeat. That was awesome. Anyway, we're gonna fit the magnification back to where we were before. Stupid Reaper. I mean, poor Reaper, not stupid Reaper. Poor Reaper. You know, whatever. Poor, stupid, same thing. Where were we? Oh yeah. Just as he dies, and the sound of the explosion is done. There it is. I can lower the volume. Oh, sorry, increase the volume to 495 so that the SCV can speak. You can see we lost one Reaper already, even though we had numerous of our own.
Base is on.
Tosh sent you to help? About time. Let's finish up this contract and get the hell off this planet.
Wait. No, I didn't mean to do that. There we go. I can duck back down the audio. You know, if that audio ducking thing works as well as he says, it'd be awesome to be able to do this. If it could do it this well, I would love it. It'd be awesome to be able to do this and produce more videos. That'd be a lot more fun. Then again, I also like doing this too, so it's kind of weird. I'm kind of conflicted about using that kind of stuff. So let's watch that whole little segment.
You can see we lost one Reaper already, even though we had no...
Oh wow, I don't know if you guys noticed that, but like I actually selected him and right-clicked over here to get him to move. So I actually did micro him, just too late. Like the micro went off, it triggered, but it was just a little too late. Watch, you can see my mouse cursor. Let me move forward. Selected him. He's selected. He's the only one selected. My mouse cursor moves over here to try and get him out of the way. I should have moved down and pulled back. It probably would still have been too late. See, and there goes the command. You can see the arrows going into the ground. Oh, and just as he received that last command, he dies. Anyway, enough mourning for that awesome, awesome Reaper.
You can see we lost one Reaper already, even though we had numerous of our own.
Base is under.
Tosh sent you to help? About time. Let's finish up this contract and get the hell off this planet.
Mineral field depleted.
We're out of minerals here now. I think. Yes, we are. Alright. So, command centers can actually load up SCVs into them. So if we click the load button here, all nearby SCVs, up to 5, will load up into that command center. And here are some resources for us to collect. Let's go explore a little. Whoa! Oh look, it's our own guys. Nice. Well, we located Tosh's men. It's our own guys. Nice. Well, we located Tosh's men.
Since you're doing right by me, I'll do right by you. Here's the coordinates of the nearest mineral nodes.
What's going on?
Didn't mean to do that.
Right by you. Here's the coordinates of the nearest mineral nodes.
What's going on?
Alright, if we're going to be supplying both of these bunkers, we're going to need more barracks.
Bad news. In the rear with the gear.
Maybe a bunker out here too, just to be safe. Alright then.
I'm listening.
Tosh has provided us with the location of all of the nearest mineral nodes. So that's where we'll be mining. And I'm also going to try and use the map. I think there's some over here.
On the way.
I'm also going to try and use the little drops that we have on the map. Not the drops. I'm sorry, I'm trying to think. Here they are. I mean these extra little points that we can collect. Explore a little bit. These Reapers are not very durable either, so we've got to be careful. There's already some. Alright, there's the Brutalisk. I don't think these guys can actually handle him. Let's see. Oh! Okay, I've got to get up.
I think I might have been able to kite him and micro against him, but he one-shot one of my Reapers. I think I might have been able to do it. I got him down by about 25%, but the lava started coming up. We were on the low ground. I could have, like, jumped up and down and taken him out that way in this little area. Anyway. He's a little too tough for us.
Our SCVs. Seismic activity
Oh, great.
is increasing.
Repair.
Is advised. Alert. Lava surge imminent. Evacuate low ground immediately. unacceptable landing zone.
It's not true. Okay, so we're still stuck on this little area. And I need to macro up an army big enough to take out that Brutalisk. And I've also got to start collecting more resources.
All clear. It is now safe to proceed with mining operations.
Okay.
Now, one thing I like to do, and because in this video, more than any other so far, I've mentioned the term macro, I'm going to define that here using one of those little titles that I throw in, one of those little annotations. What I'm doing with this series is I'm trying not to overload the viewer. The target of my Wings of Liberty playthrough is the person who is the viewer who has maybe seen StarCraft, like played professionally, like on the GSL or on the NASL or MLG. They may have seen StarCraft or heard of it, but not really understood what was going on. So they're aware of StarCraft, but they don't understand anything that's going on when people are playing it. They don't understand anything that's going on that the commentators are saying. So they're just kind of alienated from it. They might think it might be a little bit interesting to them, because they're obviously watching for some reason. They just don't necessarily get it. Also, they don't realize that there is this involved story and campaign behind the game. So I'm trying to knock out two birds with one stone here. I'm trying to reveal to them that there is this big story behind StarCraft. It's interesting. It's fun. It's something you can actually get involved in. I want to show them that. Also, I'm trying to dole out little tidbits of information in each video, slowly, to help them learn. So this time, this video is going to be the term macro. So I'm going to define that here, because they probably don't, some people in my target audience, I know a lot of people who are not my target audience who are still watching, of course, know, and they don't like me to take the time to define these things or anything like that. They just want to see the gameplay. But they're not my target. This is a very focused series that I'm working on here. So I realize that some people in my target audience will not understand what macro or micro is or anything along those lines. So I'm trying to define these things. That's how come in my previous video I defined the High Templar because they're kind of difficult to see what they're doing on the screen. I've defined what tech labs and reactor cores are and things like that. This time it's going to be the term macro. So I'm building this for a specific purpose, and I'm not letting the people who want different things from this series determine what's actually going to be the final product, because I'm actually, again, you have to have a focus, you have to have a goal with your work, you have to be building it for a specific purpose. That is what design is, and this is designed to be viewed by those people, although it can be enjoyable to others. So at this point, because I've mentioned the term macro, I am going to throw one of those annotations in. I talk about macroing an army big enough to face that Brutalisk. So once the term macro comes out is where I'll throw the title in.
And I've also got to start collecting more resources. It's not true. Okay, so we're still stuck on this little area. And I need to macro up an army big enough to take out that Brutalisk.
This is a good place for it. And I believe I mentioned the term macro one more time. But anyway, I'm going to throw the title here, just so I have it there. Let's see if the term macro comes out again.
And I've also got to start collecting more resources.
Nope. So anyway, the trick is defining the term macro in something that takes only 1 or 2 lines, because I want it to be very succinct. I want it to define it and get the point across quickly so that they can continue watching the video. Macro, as in macro management. Okay. So here we are in this title. Let's double click on it so we begin editing it. And I'm going to add the little text box here. Type something. And the text has to be, the font that I use is called Liberation Sans Narrow. There we go, Liberation Sans Narrow. And I usually bring it down to about 32 as far as its font size is concerned. There we go. Looks small on this screen, but whenever you go into like 100% view, it's actually the correct size. So macro. Macro, short for macro management, refers to the construction of buildings, defenses, and the first, the construction of buildings, defenses, short for macro management, refers to the construction of buildings. Yeah, no, that's fine. The growth of your economy. Minerals and gas. No, I'll define economy later. The growth of your economy. Macro, short for macro management, refers to the construction of buildings, the growth of your economy, and the and your ability to I want to use the word build or growth, but I've already used build as buildings and growth right here, so I don't want to repeat the same word. Macro, short for macro management, refers to the construction of buildings, the growth of your economy, and your ability to amass an army, or the ability to grow your forces is the term I want to use. I might as well. Macro, short for macro management, refers to the construction of buildings, the growth of your economy, and your ability to grow your forces. The ability to... What's another word that I can use there? Expand your forces. Produce an army. Produce an army. That's a good one, Draconomesis. Develop. Develop your army is a good one, too. Hello, Mr. ES. Good to have you. Comic Sans. Never use Comic Sans in any serious work, please. And your ability to produce an army. No, develop an army. I like that term. Who gave me that? Ziff Creature. Yes, Darkate. Comic Sans hurts my brain a little too. Thank you too, Draconomesis. That was really good. But the reason I use the term develop instead of anything else is because that's what you're doing. You're developing it. It's more than just making an army. Macro refers to more than just making an army, because whenever you're making units, you're actually creating the actual units themselves. But whenever you're developing your army, you're creating the units and you're getting their upgrades and all that good stuff. So it actually refers to the actual development of your army. And your ability to develop your army. Whoa, what the hell just happened? I pressed something and it was dumb. Dumb things just happened. I'm scared. Anyway, let's go back to the title. Why did it jump all the way to the end? What the hell did I press? Anyway, let's go back here. Save might work. I hope that didn't do anything. I hope I didn't accidentally delete something. All my titles and stuff are still there. All my keyframes and everything are fine, and we're all still synced up, so okay. Weird. And develop your army. It's fairly long, but okay, that's good. And I'm going to use the ellipse tool here. Sorry, I'm going to use the rounded rectangle tool and draw a box around the term. There we go. I'm going to click the color palette and change it to black. Okay, save that, because I save after everything I do in this program. I'm going to arrange it. Sorry, I'm going to transform its opacity and set it to 50% so you can see through that little thing. Little backdrop here, and then I'm also going to make sure it's actually in the backdrop by going to arrange and send it back, so it's actually behind the font now. Alright, and now to make sure they're both evenly lined up, what I do is I select each element individually, because we've got the backdrop and we've got the font here. So what I do is I select the backdrop and I go, I make it in the vertical center of the video and the horizontal center, so it's precisely centered in the middle of the screen. Now I select the font and I do the same thing, precisely center it in the middle of the screen. So now they're both exactly correct, and I select them both. And I bring it down to about where I want it on the screen. about right here. And what I like to do is I like to put it just above my little hotkey thing right here. And again, now it's where I want it vertically, I will center it horizontally. So now it's on the exact center of the screen where I want it. Okay. Another thing that I wanted to start doing here is because, yeah, there's one more thing that I want to do. I'm going to add another terminology. There we go. And again, this will be Liberation Sans. I think I had it over here already. Nope. Liberation Sans narrow. I think I'll make this font a little bit smaller, so we'll go 24 instead. That sounds good to me. There we go, because I don't want this to be the focus. I want the term to be the focus. So I'll bring terminology here. And I will give it a different color. Let's give it its backdrop first. Should I give it a perfectly square backdrop, or should I just fit it in here? I'll do this. I'll drag this upward. Nah, because that makes that look freaky. So I'll do... I could just line it up right alongside here, which would look okay. Maybe on the top right? Nope. It's better to have it here. But if it's off-center, it looks a little awkward. I do want to include the term terminology, but if it doesn't look right, I will sacrifice it. Let's see. Terminology. I want to give it a color. I think it's a little too distracting. Instead of that, maybe I'll make it gray, so that it's there, but it's faded out, and give it a drop shadow so it stands out a little bit. Terminology, and I can just drop it right. Oops, don't want to move that. By the way, when it does crash on me, it usually crashes when I'm doing title work like this. Save this, hit done for the moment, and I'm actually going to magnify this to 100% so I can see what it would look like on screen. I think that looks okay, actually. Need to line it up a little more, though. Save. Back here. Short for macro management, refers to the construction of buildings, the growth of your economy, and your ability to develop your army. Oh, I didn't realize I put 2 periods there. Glad I zoomed in. That would tick me off. That's the exact kind of thing that I hate to see in the final product. Ugh, I can't tell you how much I hate that kind of stuff. Pisses me right the hell off. I don't know if I fully like that or not. Kinda. I think it kind of gets in the way and distracts from it. But I do like to experiment at the same time. Let's see what it looks like when I zoom it in. Let's actually increase the duration that it's on screen by a couple of seconds. Actually, maybe 2.5 seconds. And to increase the duration something is on screen for 2.5 seconds, you actually have to increase it by 2 seconds and 15 frames, because we're at 15 frames per second. So you can see down here on that little tooltip right there, see that right there? As I increase this, we're going up 30 frames, which is 1 second. Then we're up to 2 seconds, and then 15 frames, because we're 30 frames per second. That's exactly 2.5 seconds right there. Click. Okay. Now that that's on screen for about 7.5 seconds, we'll add that transition that I throw onto all these little titles. Transitions, favorites, roll. It's called the roll transition. There we go. Let's see what that looks like.
That Brutalisk. And I've also got to start collecting more resources.
All clear. It is now safe to proceed with mining operation.
Ha! I like how that appeared just long enough and went away as soon as she came on screen. That was pretty cool.
And I've also got to start collecting more resources.
All clear. It is now safe to proceed with mining operation.
What do you guys think? You think the word terminology gets in the way there? Top right. It's fine that way. Ah! Ben for Pone. I knew someone was going to say that. X, don't worry about this stuff. That's the exact kind of stuff that you should worry about if you're concerned about the quality of your video. I mean, these kind of things are... These little things matter a lot to me. Whatever the opinion the populace takes, I oppose that. Of course. And Waterdown says it as well. Of course. Try resting the terminology halfway between the macro backdrop. That's what I did. I thought that's what I did. The word does add to it. Yeah, I think it does. I think it does give something to it. Like, it's more than just a title explaining macro management. It's a title telling you that the word terminology there, just by being there, tells you it's something that's widely used in StarCraft. Ah. Zatos, he realizes what's going on here. Attention to detail is the most important thing in creating professional work. It's true. You can succeed on YouTube by just putting out a ton of half-assed work. You can really do that. And most people aren't going to care. But I care a lot about my own work. I care about what the final product is going to be. Each one of these videos has to be the best that I can make it, and I have to try something new in each one, and every time I try something new, it has to be done the best way that I possibly can. It's just that pursuit of perfection that you're going for. You'll never reach perfection. You never will reach perfection. It's impossible. But it's about the pursuit of perfection. As long as you're constantly striving to reach that, then you are improving yourself every step of the way. As whatever you are, as a musician, as a designer, as a gamer, as a person. As long as you're striving towards that. If you have a passion for what you're doing, you should be striving for perfection, in my opinion. That's just how I see things. It's really important. Yes, Ziff Creature. The pursuit of perfection is more important than perfection itself. I am not using After Effects Essentials. I am using Adobe Premiere Elements. Anyway, am I the son of Steve Jobs? No. Steve Jobs was a magnificent man. Doing something in a completely different field, though. Steve Jobs was awesome, though. David is the son of a man. It's true. My dad's actually really awesome. David is the son of a woman. It's true. Yes, I am all these things. I am a human being. Anyway, let me take a closer look at this terminology thing. Resting it halfway between the backdrop. I thought I did that, really. It's difficult to aim, though, because in the title screen, when you're editing a title, you can't do that magnification thing that I do when you're not in the title. So having it rest right there is about as close as I can get it, I think. I could probably lower it just a little bit more. It takes a steady hand to move it down 1 pixel or so straight down. There it was. I don't know if you guys saw that. Actually, I kind of don't like it there. It's 1 pixel, but I kind of don't like it there. Let's hit done and see what it looks like. Actually, no, it probably looks good. Let's see what that looks like here. It's right along the line of the E. So that's pretty much exactly middle. I like it. I like it there. That's good. We're going to stick with it. Fit. Okay. I like that whenever she says all clear, it clears out. I actually wanted to leave while she's appearing, so I'll pull the whole title back a little bit.
I need to macro up an army big enough to take out that Brutalisk. Okay, so we're still stuck on this little area, and I need to macro up an army big enough to take out that Brutalisk. And I've also got to start collecting more resources.
All clear. It is now safe.
Okay. We're good. Let's continue. And thank you everybody for your feedback.
To proceed with mining operations.
Okay, let's go land a command center down there. In the meantime, let's also build some bunkers. No, I can't build bunkers down there for defense. That would be foolish, because the bunkers would just get destroyed by the lava surges. Ugh, no good. Got the Reapers out there to protect.
Add-on complete.
Look at those bunkers doing their thing. No! The SCVs that we had there are dead. Unload some of these.
Just a reminder, sir. The more minerals we expend on forces, the longer it's going to take to reach our goal.
I understand.
Okay. Thank you for that reminder, Matt.
Unload some of these.
There it is. Another cut.
Just a
The SCVs that we had there are dead. Unload some of these.
Just a reminder, sir. The more minerals we expend on forces, the longer it's going to take to reach our goal.
I understand.
Try to be economical.
I'm
Economical.
We'll quiet down just before these Reapers jetpacks go off. There we go.
dead. Unload some of these.
Just a reminder, sir. The more minerals we expend on forces, the longer it's going to take to reach our goal.
I understand.
Try to be economical.
I'm trying. Also exploring the map slowly. Oh, that's a Zerg base. Now, these Reapers are actually pretty good against structures as well. I don't think I need to fight those. Yes, there's more. We need to take to the high ground whenever we can. Ouch. You know what? I need some medics over here. This is a good idea. And you build another bunker. First one burned down, apparently. Alright, let's get some medics out.
Mineral field depleted.
Let's get 4 medics out here. Why? So that I can keep retreating my Reapers back to base and healing them up. My Reapers are the only really mobile force that I have. So they're gonna have to serve as our defense.
Mineral field depleted.
The doctor is in.
Because I'm gonna need more of them.
I scanned for mineral outcrops before we landed. Sending more data to you now.
Yes, more minerals. Good.
Okay. There it is. Save, 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 save. Constantly saving.
Mineral field
The
depleted.
doctor is in.
I'm gonna need more of them.
I scanned for mineral outcrops before we landed. Sending more data to you now.
Okay, that one's got to be another keyframe moment. Because again, the game is quieting itself down while I'm trying to do the same. Just results in too many audio fluxes. Keyframe. And I'm actually not talking for this little portion right here anyway, so that's fine.
Where is our defense? The mobile force that I have. So they're gonna have to serve as our defense.
Mineral field
The
depleted.
doctor is in.
I'm gonna need more of them.
I scanned for mineral outcrops before we landed. Sending more data to you now.
Yes, more minerals. Good.
Another crash. Hello, Bendy Bow. StarCraft 2. I do need 2 monitors, it's true. Shadow Zach, that's perfectly fine. Wafer dense. David is male. Uh-oh. What are we talking about? Oh, okay, that's earlier in the chat. Okay. We're back up. And let's hear it again.
Sending more data to you now.
Yes, more minerals. Good. Okay, so now we've got to... Oh, crap! Mutalisks and everything. Evacuate to base. Evacuate to base! We're losing all of our Reapers. Lava coming up, too. Lift off the command center.
Seismic activity is increasing.
Oh, jeez.
Caution is advised. Alert. Lava surge imminent. Evacuate low ground immediately.
I just summoned up some war pigs. These guys are also going to help defend the base. They'll be Group 1. And I'm out of Reapers completely. No, I'm going to lift off this command center. It's useless here at this point.
The Grim Reaper has arrived.
Build another barracks.
All clear. It is now safe to proceed with mining operations.
Let's get this command center down here. Actually, let's get some SCVs inside this command center.
Big job, huh?
Get inside. Can I load some of these guys up, please? There we go. That's good enough. Now we're going to go land our command center down here. We're going to try to defend 2 fronts. Speaking of defense, let's get these war pigs into this bunker. SCV's blocking me off. There we go. Being attacked on 2 fronts. Wow, I'm glad I upgraded these bunkers. We're going to add these bunkers, I'm sorry, these barracks to our Control 4 control group. I know that's...
There's another term that I can throw out there. Control group.
This probably doesn't make a lot of sense to some of you, but whatever. I'm going to add a...
Okay, so I'm going to define control group at about the 28-minute 54-second mark. I gotta recall that. 28 minutes, 54 seconds. Let's go find the terminology title that we put just a moment ago. That's audio 2. Let's not show audio tracks. There it is. 28:54. Remember that. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to double click this title that I just made. I'm going to come into it so I can edit it and select all these things that I just made right here. And I'm going to Control C, copy. Now we're going to go back to 28:54. 28:54. Bam, jumps us right back there where we were just at. And I'm going to introduce another title just as I start talking about control groups, or like right after I start talking about control groups.
Now we're going to go land our command center down here. We're going to try to defend two fronts. Speaking of defense, get these war pigs into this bunker. SCV is blocking me off. There we go. Being attacked on two fronts. Wow, I'm glad I upgraded these bunkers. We're going to add these bunkers, these barracks to our Control 4 control group. Control group.
There we go. Add a new title. Select that add text thing, just delete it. Control V to paste, and it puts in the same little thing right there, so we don't have to adjust the word terminology or anything along those lines. Okay. Keeps all the same fonts and all that stuff. How to properly define this in a succinct manner. Control group. Too long. Units and buildings can be easily grouped by pressing the Control key on the keyboard and a number. You can select that control group. Oh wait. Units and buildings can be easy. You know what? Everybody who's going to be watching this should be computer savvy enough to know what the control key is, so I don't have to include that by pressing. Can easily be grouped by pressing Control plus number on the keyboard. Units and buildings can be easily grouped by pressing Control plus number on the keyboard, and can be quickly selected by pressing that number again. I don't know, what do you guys think? But I'm not sure why you would get the elements of any Adobe product. It's silly. Well, Precast Wig, because buying Adobe Premiere Pro is expensive, and Adobe Premiere Elements is like less than $100, which is awesome. And I realize what you're thinking, like, well, why don't you just pirate it? Well, I make money off of my YouTube channel, first of all, but that's not the only reason I don't pirate things. I would hate to think that I built my entire YouTube channel, all of my work and all of my hobby, something I love and enjoy, off of pirated software. I know that's just a moral thing. That's just my moral threshold. A lot of people don't care. A lot of people can just, because it's really expensive software, it's really not available to your average consumer anyway, so they wouldn't be able to make a YouTube channel at all if they didn't pirate software. I understand that. But me, I do not, I wouldn't, I hate to put it this way, but I wouldn't be able to sleep at night knowing that my YouTube channel was built off of pirated software. So no, it's not silly to be using Adobe Premiere Elements the way that I use it. So, there's that. I'm just going to leave it there. Oh, sweet, you're diamond now. That's awesome. Good job. Control group. Units and buildings that can be used by pressing Control and number. Dumpy. YouTube will let us tell how much money we make. I can tell you right now if I wanted to. Problem is, it's kind of rude to ask somebody how much they make, and it's one of those a gentleman never asks and a lady never tells kind of things, you know? And it can be reselected by hitting the number again. Control group. Units and buildings can be easily grouped by pressing Control plus number on the keyboard, and can be quickly... Okay, let's remove the adjectives. Units and buildings can be grouped. That way it shortens a little bit. Units and buildings can be grouped by pressing Control plus number on the keyboard, and can be quickly, that's important, can be quickly selected again. No, can be quickly selected by pressing that number again. Okay, so that's good. Most people are going to understand that, so let's extend this so that it covers that. And we're going to take this entire thing again and horizontally center it. There we go. Come on, control group. Units and buildings can be grouped by pressing Control plus number on the keyboard, and can be quickly selected by pressing that number again. I believe I will add a second title to this as well, to help further explain a bit. I'm going to add 2 seconds to this, so it stays on screen for that much longer. 2 seconds, there we go. And now there's going to be another title that I'm going to add. Save, title, because I want there to be an addendum to this. By adding my barracks to control group 4, meaning I can press the that's right, control group 4. I can press the 4 key on my keyboard to quickly select those buildings and produce units even when I am not looking at my... let's see. By adding my barracks to control group 4, I can press the 4 key on my keyboard to quickly select those buildings and produce units even when I am not looking at my... I'm trying to keep this at 2 lines. By adding barracks to control group 4, I can press the 4 key on my keyboard to quickly select those buildings and produce units even when I am not looking at my base. That's close enough to 2 lines, I suppose. I love it because this actually plays into macro, which is the previously defined term. You could remove it on my keyboard. Okay. That's right. Good point. By adding my barracks to control group 4, I can press the 4 key to quickly select those buildings and produce units even when I'm not looking at my base. Good call. Thanks, guys. And actually, to round it off a little more, I could even do this. I can move the word select to the second line. No, I guess not. By adding my barracks to control group 4, I can press the 4 key to quickly select those buildings and reduce units even when I am not looking at my base. Extend that. Select the whole thing. By adding my barracks to control group 4, I can press the 4 key to quickly select those buildings and produce units even when I am not looking at my base. Okay, yeah, I like that. Done. And then we will attach it to the previous title and put the role transition in there again. Favorites, roll. There we go. Now one rolls right into the other.
Control 4 control group. I know this probably doesn't make a lot of sense.
Oops, I forgot the rolls at the front and back.
Control 4 control group. I know this probably doesn't make a lot of sense to some of you, but whatever. I'm going to add a reactor core to this one and a tech lab to this one. And begin producing Reapers, Reapers, and more Reapers.
That's kind of cool, because during that point, I was actually not looking at the barracks while I was producing. Yeah, you can see me actually macroing them up. You can see them being added down here while I'm moving across the screen.
Reapers, Reapers, and more Reapers.
Perfect. It's a perfect example of what we were just defining. So that's perfect. Except I forgot to give this title its extra 2 seconds that it needs to be on screen. So we'll do this. I don't want it to last too long. Maybe 1 second would be enough. But it is kind of long. Let's see how 2 seconds looks. Might be just a little too long on there.
I know this probably doesn't make a lot of sense to some of you, but whatever. I'm going to add a reactor core to this one and a tech lab to this one. And begin producing Reapers, Reapers, and more Reapers. Load these SCVs in.
I like that because the SVs pop out. That's a good sound too. That, like, if you're reading, obviously, if you're reading any of these titles, your attention is split between what's going on in the video and reading the definition. Some people like to pause to read so they can focus on the video afterwards. Whatever. I'm not really concerned about that at the moment, and I actually do use that to my advantage in some cases. But I like there being some sort of sound or some sort of visual effect to pull the viewer back to the action after they're done reading the definition. And unloading those SCVs is a great way to do that. Like, kind of, even though they would naturally start watching the action again, it's a great way to snap them back into what's actually happening. Because these little titles and definitions, I use them sparingly because they do take you a bit out of the action. They do take you a little bit out of the flow of the video. So I love seeing something like that actually happen. And a crash. Cool! Cancel that. Barracks is the plural. Okay. Barrackses. Is it not barrackses? Yeah, I guess you're right. This building of barracks. By adding my barracks to the barracks. By adding my barracks. It just sounds weird to me. What is a barrack? The word may apply to separate housing blocks or to complete complexes. Okay. Yep, that works fine. It will be barracks then. Multiple barracks. Gotcha. I'm glad I'm doing this one live, because that's exactly one of those things that I would hate to have there. Also, I got some cranberry juice in my last break. I don't think it's good anymore. It's been in there a while. Sorry, wait, it just automatically crashed again? What the hell? No, I was reading my email, actually, on my phone. Sorry, I got distracted. But it automatically crashed again, that's weird. I might have to restart. So again, please don't crash. I think it's a memory issue. Really, I do think. It's a larger video than I'm used to, plus I'm streaming it. Premiere Elements doesn't usually crash this much. Come on, load up properly, please. Please? 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 It didn't work. Alright, so I'm obviously running out of memory. I'm going to restart my computer, and I'll be back in a few minutes, because I might want to shut it down and just let it cool off for a bit. Sometimes I have to do that. I know it sounds weird and a little bit illogical, but I do that, and sometimes it helps quite a bit. So I shall be back shortly. Everybody sit tight and have lots of fun times. Okay, be back shortly. And I think we're back. I gotta open up all my chat tabs and stuff now. And tweet that we're back up. Fire it up. You got it. Slimmin'. What was I gonna do? Streams, back up. Had some technical difficulties. Should be good to go now. There we go. Hey, look, the title did change. Or it's supposed to, anyway. Hey, look, the title did change. Or it's supposed to, anyway. Yeah, pause that. That's cool. And we're back. Let's see how many stuck around. We lost about 50. Let's see how many we get back. Okay. What the heck was I doing? Let's see if we lost any work. I don't think we did. Still got our titles. Oh, that's right. We were just defining control groups.
Control group. I know this probably doesn't make a lot of sense to somebody, but whatever. I'm going to add a reactor core to this one and a tech lab to this one. And begin producing Reapers.
That's right. We were changing barracks to barracks. Let's open this up, please. By adding my barracks to control group 4, I can pull this back now, like so. And recenter it all. There we go. By adding my barracks to control group 4, I can press the 4 key to quickly select those buildings and produce units even when I am not looking at my base. Perfect. Love it. Love it. Getting good. Getting fun. Yeah. I don't know why I'm doing that. I know it's not a Michael Jackson impression. That's just me being spazzy. Okay, moving on.
I know this probably doesn't make a lot of sense to somebody, but whatever. I'm going to add a reactor core to this one and a tech lab to this one. And begin producing Reapers, Reapers, and more Reapers. Load these SCVs and get them mining, because that's the objective of this mission. We can't fall short on that. Load up some more of these. Land over here.
Add-on complete.
I don't know if I'll be able to defend both fronts. This is going to be crazy. Marine, Marine, Reaper, Reaper, Marine, Marine.
The Grim Reaper has arrived.
Marine,
Add-on
Marine.
complete.
Alright, so we've got some more Reapers, but we need even more than that.
I'm going.
They train pretty slowly.
Bad news? What's going on? Armed and ready.
Let's keep this up.
Here comes Tosh.
This up.
495, 495 here. I think he's still talking at this point, so we should be good. Should be good there.
Armed and ready.
Let's keep this up.
Doing well there, Mr. Rena. We got traces of more minerals over on the other side of the canyon. The orders?
And we can keyframe this down until next time I talk.
What's going on? Armed and ready.
Let's keep this up.
Doing well there, Mr. Rena. We got traces of more minerals over on the other side of the canyon. The orders? The Grim Reaper has arrived. Fear the Reaper, man.
Okay, so we actually have to fight through the Zerg to get to some of these.
Nothing I can't handle.
And if it sounds like I'm surprised about some of this stuff, it's because I haven't played this in a while, remember?
Fair enough.
Okay, so we've got a fairly sizable force of Reapers.
Base
Still
is
want
under
more.
attack.
Crap.
Reapers can't do anything against Mutalisks. Poor SCVs. Let's see what else we can find out here. While my Marines go and clean this up.
Mineral field depleted.
Really? We've got to get back now. Let's get our Marines back up here. SCVs are already dead.
Seismic activity is increasing. Caution is advised.
This better be good.
Base SSC alert. Lava surge imminent. Evacuate low ground immediately.
I think I've evacuated everything. My command center down here is lifted up. This one's not lifted up. Lift off! Oh, we lost those SCVs in that command center. I forgot about that one.
Been waiting on you. What you want?
All clear. It is now safe to proceed with mining operations.
Okay. Let's get some more war pigs coming down. Oh, come on. 2 seconds remaining. There we go. Summons up some more. And I'm going to add 2 to these bunkers right here. There we go. I think that will secure our forces there. I'm going to build another bunker here. I'm taking things slow in this mission. I'm not really on any kind of time constraint, except for those that I put on myself. So another bunker here would be
Base
fantastic.
is under attack.
Leave my command center alone, you jerks! Freaking Hydralisks with their aerial capabilities. Well, with their capability to attack air, that is.
Job, huh? I can't build here.
Alright.
Been waiting on you.
Okay, so how many Marines do we have? Just enough for this bunker.
Cat from above.
Additional supply depots required.
Really? Dang it! Okay, where's one of my SCVs? Here's one. I'm gonna put some supply depots out in front of these bunkers
You're the boss.
to protect them. Where's that guy going? Oh, he has to go all the way around. That's a lot of supply depots. I don't need that many.
Overtime. Sure thing.
There we go. That'll be fine.
Well, you can buy the numbers, boys.
And this SCV, who's set to auto repair, will
Yo.
do nothing. Am I gonna need another command center? Did I lose both of them? No, here's one. That would be a good place to begin mining now. Need SCVs for it first, though. There's a lot going on in my mind for this mission. It's probably a lot easier than I'm making it, but
This better be good.
I just want to make sure I've got... my goal is to make sure this whole area is secured. There we go. Gonna upgrade infantry weapons. The reason I want to make this... I want to make sure this base is secure so that I can keep macroing up units. That's all I really want to do right now. And then I'll begin using mobile forces to collect more minerals and to protect my command center here. I don't know how I'm going to protect it from aerial units at the moment. Lava's coming up again. But again, first priority, fortify this
Seismic
base.
activity is increasing. Caution is advised. Alert. Lava surge imminent. Evacuate low ground immediately.
And I didn't land this command center because I saw that the lava was coming. So a couple of really strong bunkers out in front is good. Wait, one SCV just ran out and died because he was rallied to go there.
All clear. It is now safe to proceed with mining operations.
Okay, that's landed. And unloaded immediately after that.
What's going on?
And begin mining. Let those SCVs do that.
Big job, huh?
I think I might need another command center.
Yo.
Not enough minerals.
I can't build one. And the reason I built this engineering bay is number 1 for the upgrades and number 2 for these turrets, which will help us a great deal.
Will do. Yep.
I think this force, as a whole, actually if I leave base defense to the bunkers and the SCVs, can take out this Brutalisk, so let's do that.
This better be good.
Where's the Brutal? There he is.
Upgrade complete.
Got him. Oh, that's all 3 Zerg research points for that. Okay, now let's get our Marines, which aren't as fast, moving back to base already. And keep moving with the Reapers. Oh! Oh, we found some more Reapers. Good. Let's take out all these units. You can see these guys have grenades that they use to take out structures. Ouch! Broodlings and Zerglings. Just broodlings, actually. But we've lost a number of these guys already, so we've got to get out. Gotta get out of here. Let's get back to base with the... No, get down here. I don't want you guys going the long way. Let's get them back to base to be healed up by the medics. No, 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 no. Okay, actually, load up all of these guys and lift off. Okay. We'll get back to that momentarily. Alright, so now we've got more lava coming up. We've got plenty of base defenses here.
Seismic activity is increasing. Caution is advised.
You gonna give me your bad news?
I have 1 SCP
Alert.
here.
Lava surge imminent. Evacuate low ground immediately.
Alright, I've got to find a way to get some... Actually, you know what? I just take out this whole little area with Reapers. As soon as more come out.
All clear. It is now safe to proceed with mining operations.
I hope these Zerg aren't going to re-attack me once I land. Get to it. Actually, one of you keep repairing. There we go. I'll let the next wave of Reapers come out. And then I'll move. This base is so hard to move around, it looks like.
You gonna give me orders? Yeah, from above. Oh yeah.
Okay, let's flank this area. Oh, there they come. Let's go get them. Crap. Poorly done. Load up. Load up! Crap, I lost it all. Get back.
On the way. Be the Reaper Man. Armed and ready.
Okay, there's patches of high ground all around here. I could actually probably begin moving some of my medics and marines out with these guys, which it looks like I'm gonna have to do.
Is it critical?
And leave base defense to these bunkers and this one poor SCV. Wait, but I've lost all my command centers. Oh, gonna need to build one. I'm gonna need room to build one. Oh, with no SC... I only have 1 SCV. He's my last hope. He has to build this command center. Why do I have a bunch of my structures lifted off? Why are all of these lifted off?
Been waiting on you. Got something for me to kill. Big job.
I don't have time to build it on the low ground, and I don't want to build it out here.
Yeah. Yo.
I can build it over here, probably. Okay, I will have time to build it once this next surge of lava passes us up.
Seismic activity is increasing. Caution is advised.
Okay.
Alert. Lava surge imminent. Evacuate low ground immediately.
Got something for me to kill. Go ahead.
to recede.
All clear. It is now safe to proceed with mining operations.
I've got to build this command center. I think I'll go take out this base. How to get there, though?
This better be good. What's it worth? Alright, let's do this. On the way. Oh yeah, baby. Agreed. Enough. What? You want
There are several Zerg bases that we can probably take out with this force.
this? What's it worth?
I hope this is high enough ground, too.
Gas from you gonna get me?
Every Zerg structure we take out yields some minerals and gas. Alright.
Alright, I haven't had to do a lot of audio editing here, which is pretty nice, because none of the key characters have been talking, because now it's just all straight into the gameplay. But that one fight right there was just a little too loud for my liking for what I was actually saying in there. Let's take a listen to that real quick. See what we can come up with.
Every Zerg structure we take out yields some minerals and gas.
It's a little too loud. It takes a little bit too much effort to hear it. So I'm actually going to cut the volume down a little lower here in this part. Just before I speak. Right there. And we'll cut it down mid-fight. We'll cut the audio down just a bit, just below our... Let's go to -5? No, I'd like to go to -6, but that's a little too difficult to do right now. So we'll do -8. Let's see how that sounds.
I hope this is high enough ground, too. And every Zerg structure we take out yields some minerals and gas.
And now we can kick it back up. To where we were before, back up to -319. There we go.
Alright. This command center's done. I'll lift it off. Load this SCV up in it. We're gonna come land it... You know what? I'm gonna take it over here. Yeah, this looks like a good place.
This better be good.
To be honest, this still looks like a better place right here. Remember, I've got this one SCV and this one command center. Can't have one without the other. Well, I guess you can have a command center without the SCVs. But if I lose both of these, I'll lose my ability to mine more minerals. Okay, these medics with their increased ability to heal are going to be invaluable to me. Now I've got to land this and unload the SCV. Get him mining and create another SCV to begin mining as well. And I have to stay here and defend this crucial command center and this crucial SCV. You know what? Bunkers here would probably be good. But it's not really worth the expenditure of resources at this point. Alright, here comes the lava. Load up. Everybody load up. You load up too.
Seismic activity is increasing. Caution is advised.
There we go. Now we've got 3 SCVs and a safe command center floating in the air.
Alert. Lava surge imminent. Evacuate low ground immediately.
Base is being attacked. I think it can hold off on its own though. That's a lot of firepower coming out of those bunkers. There are no SCVs nearby to repair though.
Armed and ready.
I think I may have focused a little bit too much on macro in this mission. Now let's land
All
this.
clear. It is now safe to proceed with mining operations.
Now, I actually want to get this SCV back to base. I need to get an SCV back to base at some point. So we're actually going to escort this one SCV. Otherwise, the base won't be able to defend itself for much longer. We need an SCV back to repair. I want to make sure he gets there safely, is all. Alright, now he's back.
Base is under attack.
Load up, everybody load up. Dang it! As soon as I left the base. Alright, we gotta land this again, build more SCVs, but we still saved one. And he's back here in base. And he's set to auto-repair everything, and I'm going to set him to patrol back and forth between the base so that he'll repair any structures that are weak. Could you keep patrolling, please? Get here, patrol right here. There we go. In addition, I'm going to produce a single medic so that she can heal him if he takes any damage. So that's a good little strategy. So this base will be able to take care of itself.
The doctor is in.
SCV is ready, and he's mining. Good. Actually, I want to have him repair this. It's more important that we have that repaired than we're collecting resources at the moment. Plenty of resources here.
Base is under attack. Our SCVs are under attack.
Dang it!
What's going on? What was it? Be the Reaper Man. Orders?
More lava.
Seismic activity is increasing. Caution is advised.
Now, if you notice, this command center is actually burning down. When a Terran structure...
Alert. Lava surge imminent. Evacuate low ground immediately.
When
Base is under attack.
more attacks. When a Terran structure takes enough damage...
That's a serious outbreak.
SCV ready.
Just relax.
When a Terran structure takes enough damage, it will begin to burn down.
All clear. It is now safe to proceed with mining operations.
Maybe I should just mine directly up here. More SCVs. I'm wasting a lot of minerals on these SCVs. And repairs. I should just sit back and... No. It's not a good idea, because... there's so many different ways that I can do this. Okay.
SCV ready.
Let's go start mining.
Yeah. This better be good.
I'll keep this force of Marines here and move my
Reaper Man.
Reapers out to go scout.
Can't say I'm too happy with the audio balance in that whole part. It's a little... The game itself with the music and all the attacks and all the notifications going on is just a little too loud for my voice throughout this whole section. So I think I'll do... Where does all the action really start? I guess right here with this attack on this base. No, I think it all starts around where we escort the SCV back. Yeah. So starting about... So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a fade. That's what I'll do. I'll start right here. And I'll use a fade here. And bring this down to negative... Oops. I don't have a keyframe yet. Control Z. And starting about right here, I'll bring this down to -8, which is a drastic drop from my normal baseline of 319. But because during this part of the game I'm really concentrating, I'm actually talking a little quieter than I normally do while commentating. As a result, the baseline of the game's audio is a little too loud for for the commentary I'm presenting here. So in this special case, I am going to lower my baseline to about -8. And we're going to keep it at -8 for quite a while, I think. Maybe even for the rest of the mission, until someone else talks again. Let's see how that sounds.
Back to repair. I want to make sure he gets there safely, that's all. Alright, now he's back.
Base is under attack.
Load up, everybody load up. Dang it! As soon as I left the base. Alright, we've got to land this again, build more SCVs, but we still saved one. And he's back here in base. And he's...
No, I think now I'm just a tad too loud. This puts me in a precarious situation. I've got a couple options that I'm weighing in my head. I can either give myself a custom a custom volume level, and go with -6, which is, you can't reach just with this little slider bar. I can go with -6 and adjust the properties manually. Or I can stick with -5.37, which I think is still probably a little too high. But let's try 537 and see how that sounds like. 537. That's a 3 decibel difference. It's like a couple of jumps from what I usually do.
I want to make sure he gets there safely, that's all. Alright, now he's back.
Base is under attack.
Load up, everybody load up. Dang it! As soon as I left the base. Alright, we've got to land this again, build more SCVs, but we still saved one. And he's back here in base. And he's set to auto-repair everything, and I'm going to set him to patrol back and forth between the base so that he'll repair any structures that are weak. Would you keep patrolling, please? Get here, patrol right here. There we go. In addition, I'm going to produce a single medic so that she can heal him if he takes any damage. So that's a good little strategy. So this base will be able to take care of itself. CP is ready, and he's mining. Good. Actually, I want to have him repair this. It's more important that we have that repaired than we're collecting resources at the moment. Plenty of resources here.
Base is under attack. Our SCVs are under attack.
Dang it!
What's going on? What do we be the Reaper Man? Orders?
More lava.
Seismic activity is increasing. Caution is advised.
Now, if you notice, this command center is actually burning down. When a Terran structure...
Alert. Lava surge imminent. Evacuate low ground immediately.
When
Base is under attack.
more attacks. When a Terran structure takes enough damage...
That's a serious outbreak.
SCV ready.
Just relax.
When a Terran structure takes enough damage, it will begin to burn down.
All clear. It is now safe to proceed with mining operations.
Maybe I should just mine directly up here. More SCVs. I'm wasting a lot of minerals on these SCVs. And repairs. I should just sit back and... No. It's not a good idea, because... there's so many different ways that I can do this. Okay.
SCV ready.
Let's go start mining.
Yeah. This better be good.
I'll keep this force of Marines here and move my Reapers out to go scout. Alright, let's go back and get some heals for this one hurt Reaper. There we go. Keep it up. Okay, so my focus, now that my base back at home here is adequately defended, my focus will be to just collect minerals from each of these little patches one at a time and just defend what we got. Oh, look at all those, though. That would be so nice to have.
The hell was that sound? Was that my microphone? I don't think so. It sounds like it might have been. Yeah, well, we gotta get rid of that. We'll get rid of it just by cutting out this whole little portion where I'm not talking. Clear. Let's see if it was actually the game or my narration. Nope, was definitely my narration. Glad I caught that. And that's another reason I go through this thing frame by frame, minute by minute, why I go through this process for every video that I make, to remove little things like that, little unprofessional, tiny little things that most people would just ignore. I don't want to do that. I like my video to be as good as it can be. I don't know what you guys are saying. A poop. You guys are awesome. Yeah, you are hearing background noise from the stream. Yeah, the Michael link's correct. Wiki would be odd for me. Ugh, and if there is one, I don't want to know about it.
Just keep bringing it in. It's fine. Maybe a few more Reapers to help with the cause. And as long as this base keeps getting attacked, we're going to keep using resources on repairs. This will be a slow, but safe strategy. It'll work.
Mineral field depleted.
I'm liking this baseline, so I'm going to drag this back down to 537 as well.
I'm going to wait for the next lava surge, and then I'm probably going to move up here. There we go, we avoided that attack. Well, fended off that attack. We didn't quite avoid that now, did we?
What's going on?
We have accomplished both of our bonus objectives. And now all we gotta do is gather 8,000 minerals. No big deal. Here comes the next lava surge. Let's get all these SCVs to the high ground. Just think clearly about it.
Seismic activity is increasing. Caution is advised.
Because the SCVs are vulnerable here, we're gonna load some of them up.
Lava surge imminent.
Just to protect them.
Low ground immediately.
This is usually when the Zerg like to attack, isn't it? No, it's not. They wouldn't be able to move through there easily.
We could use some help here.
Yep, it is when they like to attack.
I'm listening.
All clear. It is now safe to proceed with mining operations.
What? What's it worth?
Alright, let's go see what else we can do.
That's all? Alright.
Let's pick up some more resources. Just go explore. That's a Zerg base right there. If we can jump up on this ledge, maybe we can get the advantage. Nope! Mutalisks!
I'm going.
Freaking air units.
Oh, yeah, baby. Fair enough.
Mineral field depleted.
God,
And I don't want to leave this command center because it'll leave it vulnerable. So these Reapers aren't going to be able to do too much for us,
yes, indeed.
as far as the exploration is concerned.
I'm
Whoa! Big Zerg forces up there.
Mineral field depleted.
Oh, yeah. Got something from me to
Just keep going, just keep mining. These mineral fields are almost depleted. We'll move down to these in a moment, and when we do, we will destroy this Zerg base using the forces that we've got.
what? You want something?
3 more Reapers.
Mineral field depleted.
Eight more Marines. I hate to do that. That's because the last dispatch of war pigs out.
Depleted.
I'm doing this just to bolster my forces for the attack on this base, which seems to be the biggest one, as far as I can tell.
The Grim Reaper has arrived.
I'm hoping these forces will make up for themselves by collecting those dropped pallets of minerals and gas.
Fear the Reaper, man.
And I'm
Next part, also at -5.
And I'm going to wait to move them until the next time the lava rises.
Also haven't saved in a while.
Piece of me, boy.
Quite a few more forces here.
This better be good.
Yeah, that'll help.
Yeah, sure. You gonna move?
I would build more SCVs, but this is working for me. Slow and steady wins the race.
Go ahead.
Get all my SCVs back up here.
Seismic activity is increasing. Caution is advised.
This better be good.
Alert. Lava surge imminent. Evacuate low ground immediately.
Low ground is evacuated. The Zerg base is on high enough ground for us to actually be able to stay up there
Base
once we
is
reach
under
it.
attack.
You know what? A few more medics ought to help too.
Insufficient. That's all clear. It is now safe to proceed with mining operations.
Good.
Big job. Huh?
Alright, actually, hold back.
Man the Reaper.
No, don't make another SCV.
Bad news.
The doctor is in.
Now let's get this whole group here. Minus 1 medic and minus the SCV, which I know I have selected there. Let's get them to this point.
That's fine.
Freaking Reapers are gonna go split up.
Yeah, I'm listening.
Well, they'll reach there, that's good. Now this group will go join up my main force. Let's go and add them to it.
By the numbers, boys. Got something from this better be good. What's it worth? What? Got something.
Okay, now we're gonna storm this base, which is gonna be pretty difficult. I don't want to leave the SCVs alone either. Let's load them up, as many as we can anyway, and go attack.
Yeah, from a buck. What? You gonna give me orders? I'm listening.
This is a hard base to storm, but thanks to those medic upgrades, my forces are able to survive the enemy's onslaught. Banelings! Oh, why didn't I micro past that? I froze up.
That would be a good point. Oh, no wonder it sounds a little loud because I didn't drop this down to the baseline. But yeah, that would be a good place to define the term micro. But no, I've already done too much in this video. I'll define that in a later video.
Why didn't I micro past that? I froze up. Begin moving this command center where it can be defended.
Base is under attack.
Is it? Oh, by a spore crawler.
Seismic activity is increasing. Caution is advised.
This poor SCV.
Lava surge imminent. Evacuate low ground immediately. Base is under attack. All clear. It is now safe to proceed with mining operations.
Alright. I think I'll storm this base too, now that the lava's down. Keep my command center moving towards them so they're always nearby help. Yes, more Reapers. Look at that explosive power they handle.
Base is under attack.
Alright. If you look down in the lower left, I just noticed we've been playing this mission for an hour in StarCraft time, which is close to an hour.
Wow, I didn't notice that during the mission because I was too busy commentating. But I think my Reapers triggered some Baneling landmines. Yep, there are Baneling landmines right there.
If you look down in the lower left, I just noticed we've been playing this mission for...
Those bastards. I'm gonna go to 100% magnification just so we can see them because Baneling landmines, even if they're used against me, are awesome!
If you look down in the lower...
Well, apparently I missed it. Scene keeps changing on its own. It's kind of weird. Bam! Out they come. See this little burrowing? You can see them popping out. Bam! Bam! And then one more trailing behind. That green little bastard. It's such a nice clump of them too. That's perfect. I would love to see that as a Zerg player. Oh, terrible. And I'm like, while that's happening, I'm like really busy commentating and like, oh, okay, whatever. You know, and later on when I realized I had so few Reapers, I was wondering where they went. I didn't say anything about it, but I was wondering.
If you look down in the lower left, I just noticed we've been playing this mission for an hour in StarCraft time, which is close to an hour in real time.
Is this still... Yeah, we're good.
Alright, we're about halfway to our goal at the moment.
Gotta sneeze. Gotta get. Dang it! It's too late. I might as well just finish it. Nope, I muted that last part. Yeah, please don't talk in color chat all the time. It's kind of annoying. We can cut here for Tosh's little speech. Wow, it's a huge jump in audio. It's going to be really noticeable.
Alright, we're about halfway to our goal at the moment.
No men work fast. We've already got half the minerals we need.
It's okay. Now I'll jump down in small increments. I don't know if I have to.
Alright, we're about halfway to our goal at the moment.
No men work fast. We've already got half the minerals we need.
I just said that, Tosh.
No, it works.
Ooh. Gained an achievement, the scenic route. I don't know what that means, but I gained it. Okay. Alright, next up, let's return back here. Actually, let's go chill here because I know we're gonna get lava pretty soon. I think. There's a whole other base here for us to take out. I think I've just wiped the Zerg off the map. Except for this little area here, which is good. Okay, there's some lava. We're gonna land here and begin mining these resources.
Seismic activity is increasing. Caution is advised. Alert. Lava surge imminent. Evacuate low ground immediately.
This better be good.
All 4 war pigs are still alive.
Can't wait.
All clear. It is now safe to proceed with mining operations.
Alright, it's landed here. Unload and get mining.
Go ahead.
While we do that,
You gonna give me orders?
I hope those things can defend themselves. I don't think any more Zerglings or anything is gonna attack. I think we actually have managed to wipe most of the Zerg off the map here.
What? You want something? By the numbers. You're the Reaper man.
Let's see what we can find out here.
Fair enough.
Nothing much, I guess.
Can't handle. All right.
Oh, without creep, that spawning pool we had here actually died. Zerg structures cannot survive off of creep. So by destroying the base around it, that poor spawning pool was left to bleed to death without any kind of sustenance.
On the way.
Oh.
All right.
I believe we've collected all those little mineral things on the map. All that's left now is to
Yes, indeed.
just mine it all up.
Oh, yeah, baby. Nothing I can't handle. I'm going.
Yeah, everything looks kosher. I wonder if it's worth training more SCVs. I could probably salvage some bunkers. Yeah, that would return the cost that it took to build it. So let's go ahead and salvage up all of our bunkers. I don't know if that's a good idea, to be honest. I don't think I'll be attacked anymore.
I'm listening.
Yeah, let's just wait patiently. We'll salvage up the bunkers at the last minute if we have to. But that should do it. This is going to take a while to mine up the rest of these 3,000 resources or so. So I'll just skip past that with some video editing.
Okay. Yeah, now there's this long lull while I see all this no commentary bit. There's this long lull where I do finish up the mission, And it's just really, it's nothing. Zerg don't attack throughout this whole part. I literally wiped them off the face of the map, and now it's just using those like 5 or 6 SCVs I have to slowly mine up 3,000 minerals. So I'm going to go ahead and cut here. And move to the point where I start talking again, which is about right here. Oh, because Tosh is actually talking there too. Cut here. Select this and this and this and this. I think I want to use the VFD, the Viewer Frustration Dampener. I don't know if I want to edit that in here. I've got some notes on editing. Editing notes, VFD. Wow, that's large. These are all the settings that I use in Premiere Elements to create the Viewer Frustration Dampener. Let's go ahead and do it. Okay. And what I do is I hit... I forgot where I begin the transition though. Let me think for a minute while I try to remember this. Whatever, let's just actually create the title first. So let's delete these. There we go, so we close that gap. Save a bunch of time there. And let's actually build the title. Bam. Oh, actually we need to do this. This here needs to say Viewer Frustration Dampener. And that has to be LauUI 26 AV1. So the font is LauUI. Font size is 26, and the spacing here is 1 for the whole thing. There we go. Viewer Frustration Dampener says that right there. Oops. Move this here. And the next bit for the numbers is Myriad Pro Bold Italic. Oh, how many minutes did I save there? Dang it, I gotta delete this real quick. Forgot to count that. So undo everything that I just did. There we go. Here's all of this stuff that I deleted. We are at this point. We're at 1 hour. Geez, this is a long video. 43 seconds. So we're at 1 hour, 43 seconds, 16 frames. And the point where we end is 1 hour, 4 minutes, 7 seconds. So 43, 53, 03. So about, I'm going to go ahead and say 3.5 minutes. About 3.5 minutes. That's where we lose, is where we gain this part. 104. Wait, no, it's right here. That we're cutting. I thought it was a little bit longer than that. Okay, so that's almost exactly 5 minutes, because that's the 45-second mark. So okay, so yeah, we're 5 minutes and 2 seconds. So we're just going to round that up to 5 minutes. So now we'll delete this. Make sure that's the point where Tosh begins talking. It is. Save. Now we'll create the title. 5 minutes exactly, and this is going to say viewer. Oops. Frustration Dampener. LauUI. AV1. Font size 26. There's that. And now the minutes. Plus 5. And that has to be Myriad Pro Bold Italic. I think I skipped it. Yes. Myriad Pro. Minion Pro. Myriad Pro. There it is. Myriad Pro. Bold Italic. Font size 136. Freaking crash. We're so close to the end. So close to being able to render this video, then I can go get some lunch. I've been editing this video for like 4 or 5 hours now. I'm hungry. I really am. I'm very hungry. I gotta stretch my arms too. I gotta stretch everything. Because before this, like 4 or 5 hours of editing, there was still this about hour and a half I had of recording this footage. And it's probably going to take 2 hours to render it, and then another 2 hours to upload. So add 4 hours to whatever this time is. So we've got about 7 hours into this already, because of the time it took to play and the time it took to edit, plus 4. So 8, 9, 10. So that's 11 hours or about that it'll take to make this video. And you guys are here for a lot of it too, so I'm not usually joking when I'm talking about how much time goes into these things.
You rang.
Okay, so there's the cut. Save. And the title is no longer there, I think. Show audio tracks. Alright, let's try this again. Control save, control save. Add a title. Viewer, frustration, dampener, allow UI 26 with a spacing of 1. That didn't seem to work. Allow UI 26. Make sure this actually works. Switch this back to 0. Click, and then go 1 and click. There we go. Save. Okay. Next one. Plus 5. And this has to be, if I deselect and then reselect, there we go. Myriad Pro Bold Italic. Myriad Pro Bold Italic. I believe it's 136 I had. 136, there we go. Ah! You gotta be kidding me. No, I'm not gonna give up here, even if I have to restart and do this again. Open project 006. I think it's gonna get to the point where it won't open it again, and I'll have to restart my computer. Yeah, Adobe Elements hates the VFD. I wonder why. I might actually, because I had a Schlotsky's. I went to Schlotsky's yesterday, and I actually bought myself 2 sandwiches, and I put one in the fridge. I might actually mute my microphone and go heat that thing up and eat that while I finish this up. But I want to see if one of my buddies wants to go get sushi. He always says no. That guy's a jerk. Oh, but you know what? If he does say yes this time, I'd have to leave before my editing was ready. I should just do the. I mean, I'd have to leave right now if he does say yes, which is not good because I really want to finish this before I go anywhere. Let's see. Let's get back to editing this title. Bet you anything it's that +5 thing that's screwing me up. +5. Save. Select this. No, let's do this in reverse. Let's go 136. It always does it whenever I hit the 1 on my number pad. 1. Okay. 136. Click. +5. Myriad Pro, please. Myriad Pro, bold italic. Myriad Pro, bold italic. There's that. Click, click, save. Yes. And then the word minutes. I think minutes is actually all caps in the VFD, isn't it? Marlet 45 AB 26. Marlet. That's wrong. What? Minion Pro? That's totally not Minion Pro. It's getting its fonts wrong right now. Oh, no, it's not. See, that M is the correct font. That's what Marlet's supposed to look like, not this. I'm totally running into memory problems here. Let's do this. There we go. I had to retype it. It didn't know what to do. I'm running into so many little problems here. 45. Font size 45. The spacing of 26. Save. Okay. And, oh, that's right. I gotta do the Myriad Pro bold italic color. 82, 165, 255. 82, 165. And what was the next one? I think 255. Yeah. Okay. So that's the color I'm going to use for that. And then the orange for minutes. And I used blue and orange, by the way, because the viewer frustration well, let me finish this up before I explain that. 255, 174, 0. 174, 174, and 0. Control S. Okay. Now this is the save again, just to be safe. I used blue and orange and white and the black background for this rectangle thingy because if you'll notice, those are the colors of the portal gun. And the portal gun, Portal 2 is where the viewer frustration dampener made its debut. And so it matched the whole theme of Portal. You got the blue portals, the orange portals, you got the white from the gun, and the black for the gun's trim. So that's why I chose these particular colors. And I'm sticking with that color scheme for the most part. Okay, now let's go this. Horizontal and vertical. Let's drag this up. I just want to get these in the general area where they're supposed to be. It's got to be about right there. This has got to be about right there. Alright, now this one will be horizontal center, and horizontal center. So now they're all evenly lined up. Save again. Rounded rectangle tool. Let's draw the circle around this. Take a color, black, okay. From what I remember, actually, this actually has a drop shadow too. Save that. Right click. Transform opacity. Give it a 50% opacity. Okay. Right click. Arrange. Send it back. Bam. Now let's also position this horizontally in the center perfectly. And we have the viewer frustration dampener. Dampener? It's freaking huge for StarCraft, though. The minimap is too important to cover up. Maybe I can adjust it and make it a little bit smaller for fun's sake. Just for StarCraft. I normally wouldn't make such an adjustment for a game, but StarCraft is just that good. And most of the stuff that happens in StarCraft that you're not really looking at happens in the lower right. So I'm actually going to put it here. Plus, Tosh is about to start talking right here, and I don't want that over there. StarCraft is awesome, though, so I can make these kinds of little exceptions.